Let me explain. No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
Hello, and welcome to the stream. My name is Gruznik. I'm a charity stream with Extra Life, one of the co-captains of Half Best Friends. If you don't know what Extra Life is, it's a platform for video gamers and gamers in general to raise money for the local Children's Miracle Network Hospital. So far this year, I have raised $500 myself. As a team, we have raised just over $3,100, which is absolutely amazing. You can check out a bunch of my teammates. If you look down below at suggested streamers, I need to add more to it because the team is constantly growing, which is never a bad thing to happen. So I am a forever DM, and we are back to it, folks. After about a month and a half of hiatus from doing tabletop gaming, we are back, and it is issue number 1 of Mutant Masterminds Vanguard. So that being said, it's going to be super fun. So we only have 2 players tonight. One of the players can't show up. That's okay. He already filled me in on what he's going to be doing. So there will be some of that. So it's going to be super fun. So we have Robert and we have David. So that'll be fun. So a few things so everybody knows. So if you look to that side of my big ass head, you'll see the Comic Chaos chart. You can also type in !comic, and that'll bring up on the other screen when we get to the gameplay screen. So what that means is for $2 donations to My Extra Life, which links down below, you can roll on this chart using the big ass D20s on there that you can choose from to have something interesting happen. A plot, roll on the plot twist chart, having a multiverse portal open up, alien invasion, Freaky Friday where they switch powers. Hidden enemy is revealed. They gain a rival, they gain a follower, fan following, get teleported, lower DC on their next check, raise DC on their next check, act out of character, mistaken identity, temporary power burnout where they lose their powers, temporary power boost, they run into doppelgangers of themselves, they have visions of the future, they're kidnapped or abducted, they get amnesia, or you get to roll twice. Then on the other side of my big ass head, right over that way, you will see the ready to roll active game day charts. These are other incentives that you have. So, like I said, $2 for the Chaos chart, $5, and you can gift a re-roll to a player or a GM. So if you want them to get a little bit of an advantage, be like, hey, you're rolling like shit, here you go, get a re-roll that they can cash in at any time that they want once they're given to it. $10 is to gift a hero point. A hero point is very powerful because a hero point allows for a re-roll where they take the better result, and if the result is as a tie to the original, then they add 10 to it. They can also do an instant counter to an enemy action. They can get rid of conditions. They can edit the scene. A bunch of different stuff. Then for $10 also, you too can be part of the action on a future issue or episode. But for $10 you can guest star as one of the players. Because Vanguard is a very large group that is worldwide and universe-wide in all honesty. And you can be a player for a session. $10 I will custom build a NPC for you based on what you want. I already have one, which is Panic Ness, which is Terabyte, which you will be meeting Terabyte later. And then for $20 is a custom issue or episode based on what you want. So if you tell me you want them to fight Godzilla, guess what? They're fucking fighting Godzilla. If you tell me you want to do a Honey I Shrunk the Kids episode where they all shrink down and they have no way to get back and they have to figure it out and they have to fight giant ants and birds and shit, guess what? That's what's going to happen. Because it's fun. And then we also have the normal Nerf the Nerd chart, which directly affects me. So, I mean, there is that. But M&M is a comic book, so it is comic theme. We are in Emerald City, is where we start. We'll be starting at the estate of Dr. Alexander Tantry, who is a veteran of Vanguard. He has been retired now for some time. He has the ability to... hey, it's Bob Ross. It's Bob fucking Ross! But Dr. Aton has several abilities. He has the ability to dimensional control, open portals to other dimensions, and is a tech genius. Unfortunately, about 10, 15 years ago, he leveled 2 city blocks in an accident, and it was decided that he was put under house arrest, which he did with a device of his own making, but lost the key. Stop by saying hello. Hello, how's it going? Don't worry, they're gonna meet Terabyte tonight. But he is a good man, but he is mentally unstable. So we're going to be at his estate, which is in a section of the city that is for the more well-to-do. It's old money. It's a very lavish mansion, but most people don't go near it. Which he does have some work here and there, but he's under house arrest. He's not allowed to leave. He does have a personal assistant that helps him with a lot of things. But, I mean, there is that. But how about we switch over here real quick before we actually get into the gameplay with the players. So, let me shut the music off. Why? Because I can. How about that? So, right here is the front of the good doctor's house, also referred to as Dr. Aton, his nickname. As a hero, he was known as Professor Fringe and specialized in fringe science. So that's stuff outside of the ordinary, meta science, stuff that people can't figure out, and he is an absolute genius. But we'll be at his estate. And remember, this is a comic book, so the first panel shows the estate. It is, we will say it is raining, it is early morning, uh, uh, but you see a black sedan roll, uh, kind of roll up to the front of the estate. And you see a man, probably about 35, black hair, very streamlined, trimmed beard and mustache. And he just kind of adjusts his mirror and he just goes, "I wish you didn't do that." And then you see in the mirror a distorted face, and it just says, "But I'm supposed to be in surveillance, Dad. I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. I'm not your father. I'm not your dad. Fine, stay here if you want, but try not to make a mess." And then we will meet with the heroes. Oh, hello, guys.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
How's it going?
Good.
It's going.
That's always good.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, so how about we start off while I'm getting some things together, and you guys introduce your characters and your personalities.
You want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first.
Yeah,
So my character is Thunderfist. His real name is Theodore Smith. He's a former electrical worker for a small city power company. Um, he got his powers while on the job. And he's a pretty responsible person, but he's also got a very nasty temper.
And what's his power set?
He's got increased strength, and he's got a whole bunch of lightning powers.
Electricity. Wah. Okay. Is that everything?
That I believe so.
All right. Well, my hero character is Wildcat. Real name Alex Owens. He's a cat man. He's actually a half-breed between a human and a alien race, a feline alien race called felinoids. He has the usual kind of powers you'd expect for a cat humanoid person: enhanced strength, agility, claws, enhanced senses. Because of his unique biology of being part human and part felinoid, that interacted in a way that gave him regenerative abilities. Even though he is half alien, he was born and raised on Earth, so he considers Earth his home planet. He considers himself human, not alien, even though he acknowledges he has his alien half. Sometimes his more animaloid nature kind of takes over a little bit, and he gets a little too into fighting, but he generally tries to be a pretty level-headed guy. He tries to be.
Okay. So you guys have been with Vanguard for a while.
Yes.
Yes.
You have worked together before in the past. So Dave, you have worked exclusively basically been your like at your hip for the last 2 years. A man named Stretch, who when you guys got here, you were told by your liaison that he would be coming later on. That he's not going to be right with you guys at the very beginning.
Personal business or something?
Yeah. So the thing about it is, he is problematic at best. He doesn't like new people. He doesn't know anybody because he has retrograde amnesia for the lack of a better term. So he doesn't really get along well with people to begin with. So he usually needs to take some time and then some special care.
Okay.
Weird.
You're weird.
No, I'm not talking to you, Dave. I'm talking about something I was doing.
Chat, you're weird. Stop making him think weird things. I don't even know what chat's saying.
Chat's not saying anything.
No, they're being good.
Chat, stop behaving and give Will a reason to rage.
That's just rude, Dave.
I mean, I can give him a reason to rage.
Okay.
How many Nerf the Nerd rules do I have left?
Huh, chat smells. That's just not right. So, you guys have been in Emerald City for about 3 days. But you find yourself right now in the thick of a battle, fighting one of the local villains. Rubber Bandit is his name. He has a similar power set, Dave, that you're used to being on the good side of, because he is a stretchy man. With him is this little dude. You can just barely see his icon because he has two things. He's a powerhouse, but he has the ability to control his size, so you can go really small or normal size, which is kind of weird. And then they have their goon squad with them. So you have been duking it out with these guys for about the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Okay.
So... Rubber Bandit.
Which one's the?
Huh?
Which one's the tiny?
You can
there underneath him.
Yep, that one is, he's a powerhouse. He doesn't have he hasn't been. You haven't heard a name of him. And from one DM to another, I wouldn't make Will rage like that. There's other methods to incite a rebellion. Yeah. So yeah, he hasn't, like, they haven't said his name, but when he first got here, he was normal size, and then he shrunk down. Because when he shrinks down, his strength gets stronger the smaller he is.
That's odd. Usually it's the other way around.
Yes, it very much is odd. Okay. So, Stretch looks dead at you, Dave, and goes, I can't stand heroes. Especially people like you.
Well, that's kind of rude.
What? I bathed today.
Okay, Dave, what is your parry?
My parry. Where's my parry? Where is that? Is that in combat? Oh, there it is.
Yes,
plus
Evan,
14.
Yes. Okay. So the reason it's parry, so basics of combat. So parry is for close range, and dodge is for ranged. He is far away from you. He stretched his limb, so technically he's hitting you with a close range attack.
Okay.
Well, he tries to. He completely missed. His arm comes flying at you, just kind of like completely goes over your head.
Okay.
And he goes, God damn it. This is going to be harder than I thought.
Oh no, all the goons is going first. Oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Are they part of the Goonion?
Yes.
Gotta get those health benefits somewhere.
Okay.
So, Will, you say we've been going at this for about 15 minutes?
Yes. You've already taken out several of the goons.
Okay. Would it be alright if my electrical energy aura was activated?
Yep, that's fine.
Alright.
Okay. And this goon is going to try to shoot at Dave with a pistol.
Man, they really don't like you, Dave.
He did miss you with 2 levels of failure.
Ha
So he goes to fire at you, and like he's kind of shaky and intimidated, and like he pulls the trigger and then drops the gun. He's like, ah, shit. Next one's like, what do I do? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the little guy goes, "My name's Pipsqueak, and I'm gonna show you what I can do." He unceremoniously picks up the stretchy guy, Rubber Bandit, and chucks him at Robert.
Oh my.
Oh, fuck.
And he... Oh, let's see. So he hits you because it automatically calculated with 2 levels of success. So what you get to do is you get to roll... so you get to roll a toughness save to see how much of it you can soak.
So I soaked
So 16,
16,
23.
so I took 7 bruises?
Yes. Well, so because it's so that's 1 degree of failure. So
1 degree of failure, okay.
yeah, so 1 degree of failure. So what that means is that on your going forward on your defense saves, you take a -1 penalty.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so he threw the rubber band guy at me, right?
Yes.
Okay, so since he made contact, he now has to roll a toughness check against my aura's damage rank.
Okay. And what's your aura rank?
5.
So with that, since it's going against it, it's 15 plus whatever whatever it is. So
So it would have been 20.
20. So he did pass. He just kind of like he's like that tickles a bit.
Well, he is a rubber guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's also right in front of me now, technically.
Yes. A couple more of the goons. One of the other goons is just like, I'm not doing this. No, you can't make me. And one of them goes, don't be a pansy. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. Here, I'll show you. I'll shoot at the electrical guy, and I'll show you how it's done, folks.
Language.
Ha, he misses and just goes, God damn it! Somebody goes, yeah, you're real fucking good at that. Everybody's like, you guys are literally a fucking dime a dozen, aren't you? Goon 3's like, don't worry, I can do this.
I wonder if they'd do any better if they were trying to punch us.
I'm gonna shoot the kitty cat guy.
Oh, fuck.
He critted you.
Oh my goodness.
1 degree to success. So now, Dave. So now you get to roll a toughness save.
Ooh, not a very good toughness save.
Oh no, that's not good at all. So you failed by 2 degrees of 2 degrees of failure. because it's every increment of 5. So it's almost 3. So you take a -2 penalty to future rolls, and you are dazed.
I'm dazed. Okay,
Yes.
so that means I've got 2 bruises.
Yes.
And what does that mean that I'm?
Oh, with daze, you can only take one action. It can
So
be
either move or attack.
yes, just until the till just for your next round is how it works. So just for the one round.
Okay.
Okay. Next goon. He just wildly fires, doesn't even do anything, takes a pot shot. And one of the cars in the distance, just the alarm gun starts going off. Nah, 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 nah. These guys are not very bright.
No, apparently not.
Other one gets startled, does the same thing. Similar outcome, except for blew out somebody's window. They're low end goons. They don't. So that one fires wildly, but hits Stretchy Man, and the bullet just kind of bounces off him. He goes, "Are you fucking done?" Triple fail, pulls the trigger, drops the gun, burns or misfires his own foot, probably. Okay. It is now Thunderfist's turn.
All right.
Thunderfist.
So the one guy that took a shot at me,
He's
I'm
actually
gonna,
taking a lead right there.
blast him with an electrical blast.
Okay.
So what do I roll for that?
Okay, so with that, it's going to be 10 plus your the power level of your whatever your blast is, whatever your rank of your blast is, plus 10.
All right, so that's 15.
Or wait, no. If you're rolling it, it's just your blast level. I was thinking if you're if it's against it. Yeah, so it's just
Okay.
whatever your blast level is, you just roll that with a d20. So that's basically what your modifier is.
Okay, so it's +5 to a d20. Okay. That's 18.
18 will definitely hit. Okay, so he has to roll a fortitude save. So what is your damage DC on it?
What is the? How do I find the damage DC?
Okay, so your damage DC, this is where your damage DC is going to be, it should be 15 plus your power level in it.
Okay, 15 plus the power level, so that's a 20 then.
So he got a 9, so he failed by 2 degrees. So he is taking a penalty and is dazed. So you hit him with the with it. So how does your energy blast look? Like, what does it look like when it comes out of like? Does it come out of your hand, your fingertip?
So, what it looks like to him is I kind of throw my hand out, and blue, I guess, arcs of electricity shoot from, I guess, the fingertips. It looks more like the entire hand, and dart across the street towards him and hit him about mid, like torso, probably just below his chest.
Okay. He just arcs back in pain. Like, he's still up, but you can tell he felt it. He's just, like, a bit wobbly. Just like,
And as I do that, I'm going to say, teach you for shooting at me.
Okay. So you still have a movement if you want. Or if you want to roll any skill checks, you can do that as well.
I don't think I want to move, because
Okay.
next round I could just hit this guy right next to me.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be the end of my turn.
Okay. Wildcat, it's your turn.
Okay. Alright, so my regeneration kicks in. So it removes one of my bruise conditions. Because that's just automatic, right?
Yep, if that's what your what level of regeneration you have is, then yes.
Yes, I have regeneration 10, which means I heal a condition basically every... Or I what is it, the exact wording? I heal... every round with regeneration 10, I remove a -1 toughness penalty.
Okay.
And then once that's healed, I think then it starts healing other conditions.
Nice.
At about the same rate, I think.
Nice. That's very handy.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so that means I only have 1 bruise. And I am going to attempt to intimidate the minions. For the intimidation skill says I can intimidate a whole group of minions who can all see and hear you with a single check. If the group has me at a disadvantage, I suffer circumstance penalties to the check. I don't know if this counts as that or not.
No, I wouldn't count it as it. No.
Okay. And it says that it's resisted by either their insight or will defense, whichever is the highest. So I'm going to just look right at the minions and just let out like a snarling roar. Ah! And intimidate. I don't know. I don't need to like target them or anything for that.
No. God damn.
I'm a pretty intimidating catman.
And he said their will defense?
It's will or... insight or will, whichever has the higher bonus.
Well, they don't have any insight, so...
Okay.
But no, they all failed. I just did a group roll for the goons since they're all pretty much the same. They're all like, run, he's fucking crazy! And they all start like running away almost immediately. And then Rubber Bandit says, "You fucking cowards, what do I pay you for?" And then everything goes still for a second. And then about 5 feet in front of you, Dave, a door appears. A door frame, and then kind of a like blast-style door that moves sideways opens. You see a hallway behind it, and you see this man in a suit walk through that you recognize as Agent Dexter Logan. Then you hear over an intercom system that's echoing through this, area. It says, "God damn it, you ruined the simulation!"
I'm just gonna kind of throw my hands up in exacerbation, like, what the fuck?
And then everything fades. You are standing in roughly a 30 by 30 cubic room. Everything else kind of fades away as it is hard light holograms. And you see the paneling like kind of shift and stuff, and you see the door like right in front of you is actually leads to the hallway. You are in what is effectively known as the DEMCORE. The official name is Fourth Dimensional Cortex. It was patented and designed by Dr. Alexander Tantri, who is the man that was on the intercom yelling. And the guy you are staying with because this is his house. And he is for what you do know about him, I explained it to chat earlier, but he goes by Dr. Aton is his nickname. He used to be called Professor Fringe. He worked specifically he was has the ability of dimensional control, so he can see into other dimensions, open portals and stuff like that, but he also is a tech genius and can build a device using fourth dimension technology and stuff. About 10, 15 years ago, there was a mishap with one of his experiments, and he leveled 2 city blocks here in Emerald City and was placed under house arrest to his own volition. That was his suggestion because they were going to kick him out of Vanguard completely. Instead, they forced him into early retirement. He has a from what you know of him, he is in a wheelchair. He has this very strange looking ankle bracelet that he wears all the time. That from your briefing, you were told from your guys' briefing, you were told that it is a power dampener. It doesn't completely get rid of his powers. It doesn't nullify them. It just dampens them so he can't use them adequately. And he is also under house arrest. He is not allowed to leave his property. You have met Linda, his personal assistant. She does everything from secretarial work to get him food. They have a very much a antagonistic relationship, to say the least. They're constantly yelling at each other, especially when he has moments of clarity, when he realizes that he could get the ankle bracelet off if he knew where the fucking key was, which he gave to Linda to hide and said specifically, don't ever give me this key no matter what I say, and she has done that for the last 10, 15 years. So it goes to, like, a panel comes across, because, comic book, and focuses on Agent Logan real quick, basically giving his stats. He is Agent Logan is a liaison with the PRA, which is the Paragon. What is the actual name of it? It's Paragon Registration Association. A regulatory association, which they handle all things that are meta-related, Paragon-related, paranormal, things of that nature, which you guys are registered with them. You've had a good working relationship with him in the past. He's actually the one that introduced you to Stretch originally and brought you guys here to this, which you guys have been here for about 3 weeks. But anyway, it says, his power set, he is listed as a Class 4 Miracle. Classifications of Paragons goes by either base power sets or certain abilities. He's classified as a Class 4 Miracle because he is immortal. He cannot die. He can feel pain at all, but he appears to be about 35, but in actuality he's closer to almost 300 years old, and he cannot die. He can be dismantled. He can regenerate. But other than that, he has no other powers except for he can't die no matter what he does. He cannot die. He's been blown up. He's been shot. He's been stabbed. He's been put into space, drowned, and he feels all of it, and it sucks. So, but that's his power set. But anyway, going to that, you haven't seen him in a few days. Like I said, you guys have been here for about 3 weeks, and you had a feeling he was going to be coming today, because he did email you guys the other day and said, "Hey, I'll be there. We have some things to discuss." So he walks in and he's just kind of standing at the door and he's like, Thunderfist, Wildcat, how's it going?
You're interrupting my groove.
Sorry about that. I tried to make an appointment. I was going to wait, but Linda said, no, just go in. It'll be fine. And then you hear the voice over the intercom, God damn it, Linda, you bitch! What did I tell you about interrupting the simulations? And he's like, how about we get out of this room before he decides to make it smaller?
That seems like a good idea.
As you guys walk out, you hear the sounds of it sounds like electronics and metal grinding, and then when you look back, the room that was a 30-foot cube is now about the size of a broom closet, and the door just automatically shuts by itself, and then kind of fades into the background. Like you can see that there's a door there, just very faintly, and then you walk through the estate and up into the one of the upper levels near Dr. Aton's lab. So his lab it's very open but very clustered. There's a lot of experiments going on at any given time that the doctor is working on. He has one which kind of looks like a three-dimensional cube in hard light that just has a bunch of writing and stuff. You heard Linda the other day saying, like, what is this, a fucking Marvel comic? Like, is that the Tesseract? What are you doing? Stop fucking with things. And he's like, mind your business. Because he is still allowed to work on stuff. But he's just up there at the control panel, and he's just sighing to himself, and he has a piece of licorice sticking out of his mouth that he's just kind of, like, not really chewing on, he's just kind of sucking on it. And he just has, like, papers all over the place, and just like is jotting down notes and not really paying you guys any mind. There is a small table right near the entryway that has a pot of freshly brewed coffee and some donuts that look like they're probably only a day or two old. Probably still good, but
At some point during our travels, I did shut off my energy aura.
okay. Um, oh, also, if I did not show you guys. So this is the sigil of the Vanguard. Like you guys can wear whatever outfits you want. They don't care about that as long as you do have the Vanguard sigil somewhere on it. And they don't care how big it is. It's just so that way it's about proudly representing the Vanguard and what they mean.
Okay. Well, in that case, I have mine on a shoulder patch on my left shoulder.
Okay.
My superhero outfit. Since I'm a cat man, secret identity be damned. I don't wear a mask or anything. Though my human identity, I guess, my pre-transformation identity is technically secret.
Yeah.
But my super suit is just like basically a black leotard with like my forearms and my lower legs uncovered, like red piping on it, and the symbol on the front is just like 3 cat scratches cut in a diagonal in colored red.
Okay.
And I do have basically not a utility belt, but like a pouch belt or whatever, so I have somewhere to like put shit.
Yeah, the logo on my suit is probably gonna be like on my left shoulder, like towards the front. And my entire suit is gray, a dark gray with a blue lightning bolt on the front.
Okay.
And then I wear like a dark gray eye mask, kind of like what some superheroes wear.
The domino
Okay.
mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for reference, that way you guys know roughly where you are. So you guys are actually in, like right on the border of Sunset Hill and Royal Hill, like right on the border of them.
Wait, say that again?
So if you look at the map, see where Royal Hill is?
Oh, okay. Yep, right there.
Royal Hill and Sunset Hill, you're like right on the border of those two. Like the estate actually is in technically both areas of where it's located. But that's because this house has been here since long before the city was built around it, and before they redid the sanction lines and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
okay, but so he pours himself a cup of coffee and grabs a donut after like knocking it against the table to see how hard it is. Dips it in his coffee, and so you've known Dave. You've known Logan for most of your career throughout it. Like I said, he introduced you to Stretch and kind of had you take Stretch underneath your wing. But has known you longer than that. He's known you since your recruitment because he was actually one of the officers that was there when you did join up. Robert, he's known you on and off over the years as well. He actually recently transferred to this area of the country. So this is his area. So you do know that 6 months ago, the acting heroes, the Emerald City Knights, got into a large battle with one of the local villains, Terabyte, and something happened, and they suffered from what's called burnout. So they all lost their powers. While burnout isn't necessarily a permanent thing, usually if your powers are going to come back, they usually come back pretty quickly. It's usually like a lot of times it's temporary, but it's been 6 months and they don't have any trace of powers. They've been to multiple doctors and scientists and other metas, and they can't figure it out. So with that, crime has gone up extensively in the past 6 months, to the point they the mayor resigned because of everything, and a new mayor there was an emergency election, and the new mayor has been in place for about 3 months now, Agent Logan, or Dex, he's fine with you guys calling him Dex. Just looks at you. So, how you guys settling in? I know it's only been a couple weeks, but just wanted to check in to see how you guys are doing.
Getting restless, running these drills all the time.
Well, Aton wants to make sure you're ready, and he actually has been in the city a long time, so that's why he keeps on putting you against villains that frequent this area. So I get that, but and he kind of looks over at Aton, seeing if he's actually paying attention or not, and he looks right at you, Robert, and goes, "So, what do you think of him?"
Well, from what I can tell, he's a genius, but he also seems like a little bit of a prick.
Yeah.
They always.
So Dex looks over at you, Wildcat, and goes, "So I didn't fully brief you on the full extent of why Thunderfist here was tapped to join your little trio here. He's here for multiple reasons. One, because he is very skilled, and I know you've worked with him in the past on a couple jobs, including Montreal and in Bangkok. But he is here primarily to make sure that Aton stays in check. Because as his years get up there, his mind is... the council's afraid that his mind's going to shatter more. And the PRA feels the same way. So we want to have somebody who can neutralize some of his abilities. That's why we have Thunderfist here, because his electricity dampeners and nullification fields and stuff like that could help with that if something goes bad. Not that we don't trust Aton, we just... When you're a mad genius, sometimes things just slip your head, so we don't want that to happen. So that's... Like, he's still here as part of your team, obviously, but that's what his other priority is. So just so you're aware.
All right, then.
So, a few things before I go, because I just wanted to make this a quick trip, because I have a couple new inductees I have to deal with. Stretch will be with you at some point, probably be a few days. You know how he can be. But you do have to... so your agenda for today is you have to go to City Hall and talk to the mayor. I will warn you, I do believe that General Lang is there. And General Lang does not like the PRA, and especially does not like Vanguard. So that will be that. Just keep your composure. Remember, he doesn't speak for everybody. So there's that. And then also there is a fundraiser tonight at the Haven Gallery, which is one of the bigger museums in the city. It's to fund the Emerald Way Children's Hospital. You are going to be there as honored guests when the mayor is going to officially introduce you to the city as the new hero group that's going to be overseeing and protecting the city. So you definitely want to make sure you're not late there. But other than that, if you need me, you got my cell phone number. Just contact me with anything you need when it comes to that. Try to keep your collateral damage down to a minimum, especially to start off, because like right now there's a budget is tight. Like we can handle it, and liability and stuff like that. But we want to try to get good publicity starting off before we get into something like super heavy and causing a bunch of damage. Okay.
Roger.
I'll try.
Okay.
No promises.
I know, that's all I can ask for. Like luckily you guys are registered, so we can take care of everything. If you weren't registered, then it's a little bit more problematic. But with that, I'll see you guys when I see you. I will see you tonight. I will be at the fundraiser myself, so will be a bunch of higher ups. I don't know everybody that's going to be there, but I can send you a list of the people that I know. The mayor's office might be able to help. Deputy Mayor Clifford. What the hell's the guy's last name? Opton. Yeah, Clifton Opton. He's the deputy mayor here. He's also relatively new. He actually just got put in place a few days ago. He might have a full list of who's at the gala and who's gonna be there for the fundraising event and stuff. That's at like 8 o'clock at night. And if you need a ride or anything, Aton should have vehicles here. He usually does. They might be a little antiquated, but yeah, he just kind of like he takes his half-eaten donut, throws it in the trash. takes another small sip of coffee, kind of winces a little bit, and just then throws it in the trash and kind of walks away. And he goes,
Probably
"See you later, Aton." Ha! Who's talking? And he turns to you. Was somebody here?
Nope, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh. And he looks at his computer, beeps. Huh. You guys did okay on your simulation. It scored you at 76%. That's not too bad. I mean, passing grade 65. I prefer in the 90s, though. I won't make you run the drill again. Why don't you guys hit the showers? And then you hear it. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I'll give him a little bit of a salute then as I turn to go hit the showers.
Then you hear like of a familiar voice that you've heard these last 3 weeks at nauseum with their bickering, and she goes, "You know they're not your students, right? Like they're just here because this is classified as a safe haven, so you don't have a choice but to give them asylum. It's my goddamn house, and if I tell them to hit the showers, they better hit the showers. I'm an elder. I'm 75 years old. You're an old cranky man who needs to go to bed. Bed? It's like 9 o'clock in the morning. Why would I be going to bed? Well, how about you actually eat something other than candy? Fine, I'll come upstairs." So we will fast forward about an hour later. You guys take showers, you get kind of dressed, and you head to City Hall. So this is the building you come up onto. This is the City Hall of Emerald City. So as you make your way inside, you're greeted by the receptionist and stuff. You let her know you have an appointment and stuff, and she's like a little flustered because she's like she obviously recognizes you guys, even though you're not from this city. Because like I said, Vanguard is a predominant group. She definitely recognizes the Vanguard symbols, and then realizing who you guys are. Because you do, while you're not extremely popular and not necessarily known worldwide, like you do have a following. You guys have done heroic stuff and been on some pretty good, pretty good adventures and stuff that have stopped some really messed up things happening. So people do know you. But they usher you in after a little bit of a wait to the mayor's office. You're greeted by, you see a woman that's probably about 5'10" or so, African American. And she introduces herself as Sarah Whitney, Mayor Sarah Whitney. To her left is about a 6 foot tall, very pasty skinned ginger. He has just a small little mustache, and he introduces himself as Deputy Mayor Clifford Opton. And then with a clean shaven face, military style buzz cut in a semi paramilitary outfit with the sigil of Aegis on it. You see General Robert Lang. So your interactions with Lang previously have been unpleasant at best. He absolutely despises Vanguard. He cannot stand them. He thinks they work outside of the law and they don't work well with everything. And so he has a disposition to anybody who is a member of Vanguard, whether he's met you or not. You've met him a couple times in passing, nothing really like super thorough with him, but he's always been kind of disgruntled and just kind of bitchy in all honesty. But you are in the mayor's office. And Mayor Whitney looks at the two of you. So, nice to finally meet you. And she, shakes her hand, stands up, shakes your hand.
Mrs. Mayor?
Nice to meet you.
This is Clifford. He's my deputy mayor. And I'm assuming you already know General Lang here, if not by face, by name and reputation. And he just kind of... and she goes, "But welcome to the city. I want to thank you so much for doing it. Our last hero group met their kind of demise and ended their careers. which is very sad. They have been the Emerald City Knights have been, a staple in this city for, going on 3 decades. Before they're classified as the Emerald City Knights, they were the Sentinels. It is the same super team that, the evolution of the super team. And when everything happened and then just crime rate started rising massively, which is part of the reason why I got in here, because our last mayor didn't do so well with the fallout from that, as everything started rising and the crime rates and stuff like that. So they had the emergency election and I came in. But enough about me. So some things I want to go over with you. So obviously tonight we do have the fundraiser at Haven Gallery. You are going to be the honored guest there. Obviously, I'm going to fully introduce you to everybody. The media will be there, so we do have members from the various different media outlets that are going to be there, including some of the local radio stations. But we will have Channel 12 and Channel 8 will be there. I do believe Channel 9, which is the public broadcast, KSAT, I think they'll be there too. We do have some online media personalities that are going to be there, and some people from the paper. So that's to look forward to. So, and a bunch of other guests, which I can send you a list if you would like, so you can figure out who you want to kind of smooze with and get to know. Obviously, we'll all be there. Also, the police commissioner will be there. Same with the chief of police. Maximilian Mars, from the owner and CEO of Mars Tech, will be there. Sylvana Lockhart, she owns Andromeda. She'll be there as well. Liam Keats Jr., he is the proprietor of Ultra Labs. He'll be there, and a few other people. But like I said, I can get you a full list. But what I really want to talk to you guys about is like our exponentially growing crime rate. So here's the thing. So crime is up, like regular crime is up 12.2% in the last 3 months alone. Once bad guys and criminals and villains realized that the heroes weren't coming back, like the main heroes weren't coming back, they kind of started getting. There's solo heroes. There's plenty of solo heroes in smaller groups, but we need the face. We need the face of Emerald City to be out there and to let people know we are not to be trifled with. We are here to make a difference and to keep crime at a low rate. That being said, super crimes in the last month have risen 15.6%, which that's not good for anybody. Definitely got good for me. I'm only 2 or 3 months into this, and I can my approval rating going low and showing that I'm not doing anything, and it's not looking good for me. That's kind of why I reached out to the PRA to see if they could help. If they had any ideas, and they said they'd reach out to Vanguard. Vanguard is one of the groups that helps, and I've followed your group's activities for years. I think you guys are amazing. And then while she's saying this, the general just goes, "Yeah, amazing," and she just stops, deadpan, looks over him. "You will keep a civil tongue, or you can get the hell out of my office, General. Remember, you were here as a guest." And if I remember correctly, Aegis is just here to handle anything, the overflow of anything the superheroes cannot. Well, yeah, but we've been busy because a whole team essentially got their powers eradicated, and we haven't had anybody be able to step up to the plate. So I'd keep a civil tongue in your mouth. These people should be respected. Heroes are a blessing. You see them as some sort of, I don't know, plague? And he goes, "That's not it at all. It's they don't work well. They don't play well. They think they're above the law. Don't you?"
Is he looking directly at us?
Yeah.
I'm going to just say no.
We all work within the confines of the law. The law states that super beings, as long as they're not committing crimes, are to be treated just as any other citizen. And we, as citizens, are doing our part to keep this city safe.
She's like, "But what I would like from you, if at all possible, and I know it's a big ask, I really do, but I want to see some numbers down. So, if over the course of like the next, say next month or two, if you could try to get crime rate down overall, whether it be super crime, regular crime, or just in general, down by at least like 7%. I mean, I know that's a lot to ask with how fast it's been climbing, but I think just having you guys out there and handling some of this stuff and getting your presence out there, and then with the media swarm that we're going to do tonight, maybe that'll help put some people in check and realize, hey, they're not to be trifled with, and we can get some of this under control. Because like as of right now, like the police commissioner has his hands full. So does the chief of police. With that, they do have their star units and stuff like that. Aegis has a small field office in the city. They've been kind of overstretched with that, trying to get more resources over there. But I don't really want Aegis necessarily taking care of super criminals unless we actually don't have any other chance. No offense, General, but you tend to be overly aggressive and zealot when it comes to that. Aegis has a history of it. And he goes, that's fair. But
At least he's honest on that part.
but she's like, so that's my ask. But 8 o'clock is when the gala officially begins. Try to get there a little bit early, so that we can have, because there's going to be the red carpet of people coming in and local celebrities and stuff like that. Plus, we want to kind of get you in there so that we can do you can have a little bit of time to kind of get comfortable with people. We can introduce you to some people before we actually get to the main stuff. It usually goes for a couple hours. But do you have any questions for me? Anything you guys want to talk about?
Is this more of a black tie affair, or should we be in uniform?
For you guys, since you are the honored guests, I suggest being in uniform, because this is really more of a getting to know you. So I want people to see you guys as the heroes that you are the new protectors of the city. We will have a few members of the Emerald City Knights there. We offered all of them to come, but a bunch of them are kind of distraught about everything still. So there's kind of that. But yeah, we'll definitely have fun. And remember, it's to raise money for the local children's hospital, which is always a great cause. So we have a lot of high-end investors there, and stuff like that. So it is open to the general public, but we do have security in place, so I'm not really concerned about that. Like I said, just kind of get there about 7:30, and we can get you in there, get some photos, ops with you, and then we'll start off the gala by actually introducing all of you guys, and then go from there.
All right. See you there, Madam Mayor.
Okay. So it's switch. So we switch panels. When it comes up to the next panel, unbeknownst to the players, it is the exterior of City Hall, and clung to the outside of the building as thin as a paper sheet is Stretch, just kind of peering in ever so slightly, trying to listen in and watch what you guys are doing, but nobody seemed to notice him.
He's being stealth boy.
Okay, and then we go back to wherever you guys want, because you guys have several hours before you have to be at the gala. So you can explore the city. You can go back to the professor's house, your guys' current HQ. Get to know that a little bit better if you want to kind of figure out what that's like, or whatever. Because like I said, you have several hours to kill.
Well, what do you think?
The question is, do we want to really go back to Atons?
Hold up there for long enough. I kind of feel like stretching my legs.
Yeah, so here, I'll show you. I couldn't find the picture earlier. I just found it. So this is like the console he was working at, except for it's filled with paper.
Well, like little Post-its everywhere and shit.
Yeah, like he has Post-its all over the desk. There's actually a stand next to it. Like right by the keyboard is just covered with books and pens and shit. Half-eaten fucking food. Like the man's a mess.
He knows where all the notes are.
Oh yeah. I mean, the man's a mess. Like he's 75 years old, is half fucking out of it, at the best of times.
So I guess we're gonna explore the city a little bit.
Yeah. Let's patrol.
Okay.
Oh, while we were in there, well, I did want to get a copy of that guest list.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so the guest list does have a lot of people on it. There's a lot of it's local celebrities and business owners, things of that nature. Like there's a couple, there is a couple heroes. So there is a few visiting heroes from other areas that are going to be there. You do see that there is a hero listed as the mascot will be there.
The mascot. Hold on. I would like to use my well-informed advantage to make a one-time investigation check.
Okay.
To see if I know anything about them.
Okay.
Skills go. Okay. Investigate. Yeah, counts as the gather information, I guess.
Yep.
Alright, so. It was an 18, so for gather information. Let's see, it says by succeeding in a DC 10 investigation check. And every 5 is another degree of success.
Yep.
So that would be.
So that'd be 1 degree of success.
Okay. That would be just 1, or that would be 2 degrees of success?
No, it'd just be 1 because it's every increment of 5. So if your DC was 10 at 18, that's only 1 degree of success because it'd be you hit the DC and then go every 5 above the DC is a degree of success.
Oh, okay. So like the 10 would be success, and
Yes.
then every 5 is an additional degree. Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, in that case, I get general information.
So what you know about mascot, because you did do some reading on your guys' flight here. Flight or bus, however you guys actually got here. That's up to you. But on your way here, to the city itself, you were looking up at like local stuff. So the mascot's been around for about 3 years. So he is from the KSAT, the local public access channel, which is essentially their version of PBS. The mascot was actually this dinosaur that is bright pink, blue, and purple. And it was a kid's show, kind of like Barney. It's just like, hey kids, do this, sing songs and stuff like that. Very popular. It got canceled about 10 years ago. And at some point, nobody knows exactly what happened. The suit came alive at some point. All they know is there's some villains around and stuff like that. They blamed it on a villain called the DM who sees himself as a dungeon master from D&D and does weird stuff. He summoned a minion. One of his minions did something and accidentally animated this suit. Because of the fact that this suit was kids loved it. It came to life with that energy and that love of kids. So it is a suit that is sentient, can talk, has its own personality, but he legitimately thinks that he is the character from that show. But he's indestructible. Like, he cannot be destroyed. Other than that, has no powers whatsoever. And it's kind of a running joke in the city. Like, he is the nicest entity in the world that anybody's ever met. Like, he gives you hope and joy even as an adult because he's so nice, so kind. But he has not successfully stopped a single bad guy in 3 years. He has been shot, he has been blown up, he has been beaten, he's been tied to telephone poles, ran over by cars, set on fire, almost instantaneously heals, and just is still happy-go-lucky. Like, you can't make him mad, you can't make him sad.
I'm assuming Dave tells me this.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
When
Dave.
he's done telling me all this, I'm gonna say that's just kind of sad.
Yeah, well, it's like Dave's like scrolling through like gathering information, but then he finds a couple like YouTube clips and stuff like that, and he's like showing them to you, where it shows him being beat up by bank robbers and stuff, and he's just like, "Hey, that's not very nice, boys and girls. You can't be doing that. We don't steal, 'cause stealing's not nice." And then they just like punch him in the face.
Tactics.
Huh?
As in character, I think he might need to change his tactics.
They like punch him in the face. There's one video clip of them like literally shoving TNT in his mouth. His whole head blows up and then almost instantly like reforms. Like it blows up, shatters everywhere, and then just kind of comes back and like floats back together and just reconstitutes. Oh, that hurt quite a bit if I had a feelings. The only feeling I have is joy and happiness. And no, you didn't do that out of anger, kids. You just are misunderstood, aren't you?
It's hilarious.
So the city itself is very large as... here, I'll show you the map again so you guys... So, the city itself is very, very large.
Hey, it went on a diet, okay? Working on it.
And it's very isolated as well.
I see it's, got mountain range on the, what is it, eastern? Yes, northwest and south. Eastern edge?
Yeah, technically the mountain range actually is everywhere around it. Like, it is isolated. You have to go through mountains just to get here, even when you go through the roads that are on the coast and stuff.
Oh my.
But as you can see, there's several suburbs to the northern on the other side of the lake. Downtown is yeah. So you have downtown. You have the riverfront, which obviously the riverfront is mainly industrial. There's the cannery, which is a shopping mall and stuff like that. But the riverfront is mainly harbors and stuff like that. You have Royal Hill, which is old money, Sunset Hill, which is new money, University Hill is where all the colleges and new age stuff is. Eastern District, that is basically Chinatown and Little Tokyo, it's actually, I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head right now. Then you have Lakeside, which is kind of like, Lakeside's, Lakeside, it's, middle class folks. Southern Shore is kind of like Long Beach. It's a lot of yuppies, stuff like that. And then you go over to Island View, Northern Shore, Bridgeport, Hookville. Those are very suburbs, so they're kind of like each one's like its own it's somewhere. Each one is basically its own city, its own mini city inside the major metropolis area because it's suburbs. Like if you go to Council Island, there's some businesses over there, but that's mainly tourists. And you can see the giant Telex robot, which caused the Silver Storm many, many moons ago, which was about 20 years ago, which was when that thing landed from deep space and infected the entire area with nanites and tried to take everybody over, and then was stopped by the heroes. But it caused many people to suddenly miraculously gain powers or unlock hidden abilities they didn't know they had because they were infected by alien tech. So,
where was it that it landed?
Council Island.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, but
it's still there. Or?
Yeah, the robot is still there. It's a 75-foot statue that just is inoperable. They completely shut it down.
Yeah, I assume there was some sort of problem with trying to remove it or whatever.
It's made out of an alloy they are not familiar with, and it has a composition that is extremely heavy and essentially magnetizes itself to the ground. But they can't figure out why, because there's nothing that it should magnetize. Like it has its own, its own gravity generator or something. They can't figure out how to get the damn thing up. And they tried cutting around it, the stone around. They couldn't even do that. We can't move this thing. So it's there as a tourist attraction and as a reminder. As you guys are out and about, though, you do notice several comic book stores and game stores. And the thing about comic books in the M&M world is their comics come in two flavors: fiction and nonfiction. So nonfiction comics are called real comics, which are based off events that actually happened, that people just do that. You can find it for pretty much almost every solo hero or super group that has made a name for themselves, they will have comics of them. Uh, but like as you guys are going by, we have an ad starting in about a minute, folks. But as you guys are going by, you do see they have comics of every genre. You do see one that says "The Adventures of Toot and Nerva." It looks kind of like a D&D style comic.
I don't know who they are.
So there's that, and then you see several comics in the real section that are of some of the villains. Like you do see one of the stretch guy that you were fighting earlier. So there's one of him. There is one of Terabyte, and several other like lesser named known villains, and some big name ones. You do see that there is a new issue out of for the Freedom Knights, and it has the front page has Headcase on it, standing in a heroic pose with his hands on his hips. In his very psychedelic outfit that he wears.
Yeah, what a nerd.
But we are going to take a small break real quick, and I will be back in a couple minutes.
Ah! What, had to pee or something, Will? He's not there. He must have really had to pee.
Could have gotten a phone call or anything like that.
Well, I mean, our voices are still on the stream, so hi, everybody. Who wants to hear a secret about Will? I'll spill the tea. Oh no, there goes the ad.
Listen, all I can tell you is chat's being very quiet.
Arr. I mean, there's not a whole lot in there. I know one of them's me, so one of them's me. I assume one of them's you.
Yeah, one of them's me.
Oh, someone went away. They're like, oh, an ad? Nah, fuck that. Not a lot of people in there tonight, I guess. I posted in a couple of my group chats in Discord that we were starting our thing tonight. I don't know how much that helps with getting people to tune in. I do what I can. Do you have any personal goals for your character, or is it just you're gonna feel it out first before figuring that out?
I think I'm just feeling it out right now. This is my first time, so I don't really have any set goals. Like,
Yeah, that's one of the things Ricky doesn't like about Mutants and Masterminds is because it's a superhero thing. Like typically, you're not working toward a goal outside of the main plot, and Ricky likes having like personal things to work towards.
mhm.
I don't know. I kind of like the fact that it's less geared toward personal goals like that because it helps you focus more on the actual plot as
Yeah.
opposed to a lot of times when we play D&D, like it always feels like we're trying to do our own thing, or everyone always feels like they're trying to do their own thing, and then all of a sudden, Will or whoever's your GM or whatever is always like, "All right, we have to go do the thing now." Like kind of what
hmm
kept happening to us last campaign because things kept happening around us, and we'd take too long trying to figure stuff out, or we'd be all like, "Oh, we don't want to deal with that," but like shit would happen, and we'd be drawn back in anyway.
hmm
That and Ricky doesn't like that there's not a way to accumulate wealth really in this game either. Like you have as much resources as you need for your character, really.
Yeah.
It's not like you're gonna stumble on a dragon horde and oh now I can afford that +5 longsword of punching or whatever.
Mhm. I think it's actually better like this because now you don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, do I have enough money to do this?
and your front too.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I was just talking about how in this, since it's a superhero thing, that you don't have to worry about resources and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Uh, yes, we took the rolls. That's right. Okay. It was 20 years ago. It was one time. You were terrible in bed. I was drunk. Yay! Happy little dinosaur. Oh, you mean the blue background tiles and everything? Oh, for the stream?
I like the stream one a lot. It feels like you're looking at a comic book.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
I'll be honest, I don't super pay attention to the stream while we're streaming. I Oh, okay. I was gonna say you can't tell me where I can't drive. Oh wait, there's no driving there. Never mind. Yeah. Okay. Well, that almost kind of makes sense. Like they were gonna start getting the comparisons and like jokes anyway. So, uh, yeah, yeah. City leadership just said, "Screw it. We can either rename the city or we can just embrace it and make it a tourist thing." All right. Should we roll to see if we perceive any crime or anything or? Would that be that would be perception, right? Or would that be more No, that wouldn't be investigation. That'd be perception. I think.
I'm just rolling perception. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
Nope, my mic did not turn back on when I clicked it. Sorry about that, Evan, and sorry about that to anybody watching.
Horrible people. Were we just talking to ourselves? Did they hear us?
If they can hear you guys, not me.
This was really weird. It was just us answering random questions from somewhere.
Pretty much. Like, who the fuck are they talking to? Is it that big-headed bitch? Oh.
Do we perceive any crime, Will?
So as you guys are going along, you're driving along, and you do see a couple people in the alleyway being mugged.
Oh, we gotta stop a mugging.
I look at Wildcat. I go, I got this. I'm gonna walk up, get out of the car after he stops it. Walk up behind the muggers, grab them each one by the back of their shirts, and just pick them up.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I thought Will muted himself because he's eating, which would make sense. Oh, I don't give a shit if you hear me eat. If you don't like the fact of hearing me chomp when I'm eating, don't come to stream. Like, that's why my buddy Pookie doesn't get on. Like, if he sees me eating, he'll be like, nope, I'm not watching right now. I'm waiting until he's done. I don't care. I really don't.
Nom, nom.
You get me in my entirety. I'm a fat kid at heart. Oh. Oh. Keep on burping up chicken Tostitos.
Ew.
That's what I had for dinner, that and pizza rolls.
I haven't had dinner yet.
So you said you pick them both up and smack them?
Oh, I just pick them up, just to give them a little, like, scare them a bit.
They're like, what the hell's going on? And they like kind of turn their head and they just see you.
I'm gonna look at the person they were mugging and just kind of ignore the criminals for a moment and be like,
Yes,
you okay?
Lava. A couple of they're mugging was just like, thank you so much.
Well, you're very welcome. I'm just gonna turn around. Again, I'm not gonna acknowledge that I'm holding these two. I'm just gonna carry them out of the alleyway and look at Wildcat. You might want to call the police.
Already messaged him.
About 35 to 45 seconds later, police car rolls up.
Jeez, if they got that kind of response time, geez.
Well, you guys are very close to Yellow Brick Road still, which is
Yeah, I would imagine they'd have a large police presence around there.
yeah, because that's all businesses. I mean, there's jewelry stores and all sorts of shit. They have it's one of the better, and it's the middle of downtown, like one of the busiest areas. They're gonna have a good police presence there. Like, well, thank you so much, heroes. You must be the new Vanguard guys, right?
This is My name's Wildcat. This is Thunderfist.
Huh, nice. Put me down, you big burly bitch!
Language.
I'm not gonna. The only thing I'm gonna do when he says that is I'm gonna turn on my electrical energy aura.
Oh,
So it gets
okay.
a little zap, and then immediately turn it back off.
Nice.
What was it?
Nothing, sir.
I'm gonna make sure they're handcuffed before I put them down.
Okay. The cops thank you again. Get them into the back of the car and go. By now there's a small crowd around just clapping their hands, and stuff like that. Yeah. It goes. So while that's happening, it's one of those split screen panels. So it's like you with the crowd and stuff, and they're like cheering you on. And then there's another panel from a perspective higher up on like. Probably like three or four floors up on the building across the way, and meshed into paper thin with the building, and all you see is a little set of eyes staring. And again, it's Stretch watching you two, but nobody seems to notice.
I would like to. Wait, can I roll for it, or do I just do it? So I have acute senses, and I have tracking olfactory, so
Yep.
I can sniff stuff out. do I need to like make a roll to see if I can like smell him or?
Yeah, in this setting you would, because there is a lot of restaurants and there's a lot of different businesses with different smells. So if you want to pinpoint a specific one, you'll have to roll a skill check for it.
All right, so that would I assume be perception. I'm perceiving through my sense of smell.
Yes. So if you get so you get that, and you have acute senses.
Yes.
Okay. So is there any numbers tied to that? Is it a leveled base or no?
Let me check. Let's see. Senses acute. One or more of your senses are improved. You have additional sensory abilities beyond the normal 5. Allocate ranks. Acute analytical awareness. Go. Acute. You can sense fine details about anything you can detect with a particular sense, allowing you to distinguish between and identify between subjects. Visual and auditory senses are normally acute for humans. Cost is 1 rank for 1 sense, 2 for an entire sense type. Yeah, so basically the acute just means that I know people by smell, I guess.
Okay. No, that's what I was just wondering, because I wanted to make sure I wasn't that if you had a bonus that you were getting with it, you were going to get the bonus. Is what I was saying.
Yeah. Yeah, no numerical bonus. It's just basically
Yeah. So
it seems like I know people's smell.
yeah. So I will say the difficulty of this, because of where you are located in the city and stuff, is going to be about a 30. While you are familiar with the smell, there's so many other ambient smells in the area. It's kind of hard.
That and he is a ways away.
He is a ways away, and it was raining this morning.
Okay. I don't smell him then.
Yeah. Like, you think for a split second, maybe, and you're like, no.
Okay, fair enough. I just thought it'd be interesting if I could smell him, and then I'm like, yeah, what a dink.
Yeah. Well, so out of character, this is what Juddy said, because I asked her, like, okay, where are you? Like, what are you doing? Like, because you're not going to be there, so I'll give you the choice of, like, why you're not there. And he goes, well, it's problematic. I don't trust people easily. He goes, and I trust, he goes, I trust, Dad, as he put, Agent Dad. He goes, and I trust, probably trust Robert a little bit, because I've worked with him a couple times. He goes, and definitely trust Dave, but I don't know this doctor. It's a weird place. I'm like, so social anxiety? He's like, yeah. He goes, I'm just going to be surveilling. He's like, I'm just on surveillance duty until I get comfortable. He's like, so I'm just in every place imaginable, just watching them, just hiding where. He's like, because I have really high stealth and just watching them. I'm like, okay. Like, that's fucking hilarious. Okay. Okay, so what are you guys doing now? You gonna go patrolling a little bit more, or do you want to get to the museum? Because we can just speed ahead to the museum.
I mean, we can just say that we're patrolling until we get to the museum, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So it switches to a new page, and hold on a second. And you guys, so it is around 7:30 at night. The sun has just started setting, so it's kind of everything has kind of like a grayish hue to it. And this is the Haven Gallery Museum.
Oh, it's a nice museum.
And this museum, while it does not look very tall, it actually goes below ground and actually stretches along several blocks back. So it's very narrow, but has actually a lot of space.
Was it mentioned before what kind of museum is it? Is this a history museum, art museum?
So this is overall it is a technological museum that specializes in space. So it has with Haven, there was a project called Project Haven, which was a space station that was made by some of the local tech companies years ago. And they actually put a base on the moon temporarily and went exploring. They actually reached Mars about 5 years ago, so they actually are the only So the proprietors of Project Haven are the only ones who have successfully made it to Mars. They do not. It's not manned to Mars. While several heroes have made it there themselves, there's not any humans, technical humans, but they have sent some of their drones that are artificial intelligent and articulate to Mars, which has had some people just disturbed because they having artificial intelligence on a planet by themselves. What if they started uprising and try to take us over? It's been in the media off and on, but overall it's good. But they deal with a lot of tech. They have alien artifacts from several different alien cultures that they've collected over the years, and they have them on display.
Okay, so it's a space and science museum.
Yes.
All right, cool.
So as you come in, you guys are greeted. There is lines, red carpet. You guys pull up in the Rolls Royce. They open the doors for you. You do see media, cameras flashing everywhere. They're just happy to get a look at you. You are one of the first to arrive, not the first, but one of the first. As you're going up, people are just taking pictures for you, and then they're just like sticking, doing that telltale thing where they stick the mic in your face and like so and so from this news station, can you give us a comment? Blah, blah, blah. What do you think of this? Just like kind of bombarding you guys with questions overall, and it's just it's one of those things you're not used to, like you're not overly used to. Like it's happened before in your career, but it's not as often because you're not one of those. You're not one of those limelight ones. Like some of the major heroes of the world and stuff that are known worldwide have to deal with this, but you're not used to it.
Right.
But once you get inside, this is what you see. So the far end there, those stairs leading down, that is where you guys come into. So
Nice.
it has the dome top. You can tell that some of the tech in here reminds you not 100% like Dr. Aton's, but similar. Like you can tell it's similar tech, but it's not the same at all. But it definitely has the same feel to it. But there's pictures of different galaxies. You can see there are on display alien artifacts from various different ones. There is one panel that goes off has a map of like Area 51 and saying that what they hid. They hid it for so long. But you guys have some time to walk around before you actually have to fully meet people, because you guys got there. It's about 7 or so, maybe a little bit after. The mayor did say, "Hey, about 7:30, I want you to meet in a certain room." But as you guys are going along, you do come across this. So this is actually a shuttle from one of the alien species that had tried to invade Earth at one point in our previous in our distant past. And they have this just on display.
Oh, okay.
And like the panels in the back there are showing photos and images that they found from that they took from the memory banks of this vessel, showing its home planet and stuff like that. Like if you go up to the informational panel, there's like a little hologram that pops up and talks about how while it wasn't alien invasion, it was actually a misunderstanding. They thought we were a different species than we were. Like it was a case of mistaken identity. They were trying to invade a different planet than ours, and they got lost and invaded ours instead. Which was found out, after the fact.
Neat.
And then you go a little bit further in, and you come to this room. So this little shuttle in here is actually a shuttle that is one of the shuttles from the Haven Initiative, the Haven Project. This is one of their ones they made for. It hasn't been launched yet, so this is their prototype for what one of their pods is that they're going to send there. So this pod, while it does look rather small, is capable of making, when it lands, using the natural resources around it to actually make a domicile that's big enough to house about 30 humans. with the technology that they're using. Which the technology that they use this. So this is a unique project because it wasn't just made by one tech company. Several tech companies were all kind of tasked together to do this project, including Ultra Labs, Keyed Industries, and Andromeda. Which, speaking of Andromeda, panel back to the front of the building where you guys are in here researching, and a very nice limo pulls up. They open the door. Media starts going nuts, and it is Sylvana Lockhart, the owner and founder of Andromeda. Andromeda is a very unique tech company. It went from a small startup company to a multi-billion-dollar company in just under 3 years. It went from 15 employees to over 150,000 employees in 3 years span. That was around the time of Silverstorm. So they do a little bit of everything when it comes to tech. So they started off as a small tech company that mainly dealt with computer hardware and video games. They have a handheld device called hold on, let me bring it up because I actually have. Where is it? Give me 1 second.
Okay. 1,000. Time's up.
Shut up. Oh, yeah. It was a handheld, a very popular handheld gaming unit called the Lockade. Because the original company was called Lockhart Technologies before it became Andromeda. But they have expanded their ties to not just video game. Video gaming is still a huge part of what they do as a video game industry because that's who they were at their core. They also did a bunch of other stuff. So you do know that video games is what sticks out in your head because you know that about them. They do some other tech stuff. Any other like detailed information about them, you could roll. Either one of you can roll a knowledge check, or if you have technology, you can roll a technology check because or science because that is in the realm of what they do. So you'd be able to get more information that way.
I don't know shit.
No, what did you roll, Dave? Because it doesn't tell me what's.
One.
Well, it doesn't tell me what skill. It just tells me the mod and stuff. So.
Oh, well, I rolled technology, I thought, but...
Okay. Well, no. It's the way the system is, so I don't know. All it'll tell me is that it's a skill because the system's broken for this game for whatever reason. So
okay.
it'll just tell me that a skill was rolled and that is an intelligence modifier.
Alright, it's a
Yeah, but you
technology.
critically, you don't know
technology and
anything.
I rolled one.
You're just like,
I don't know
huh?
anything.
I also rolled technology.
Okay. So, 18. So I will get to that in a second, but it'll be as you guys see her. So she's getting out. So she's getting out of the car. You see a woman who, so she is about 45 or so. Is 5'7", kind of a slender build to her. She has so she has probably about. She has shorter hair. It's probably about down to her neck. She has on one side a purple stripe, and on the other side she has a bright blue stripe of her hair, which is kind of one of her telltale things that she's done for years. And where most people would expect her to be, like most of the women that have arrived in nice dresses and stuff, she is a bit more casual. So she is in a basically a business suit, but she doesn't have, it's not a 3-part business suit, but her undershirt of the business suit is actually a gaming shirt. So it's actually from one of the first video games that she ever made. It's a vintage shirt, but then other than that, she's like very prim and proper. Like her, she has the nice suit jacket on, but then underneath she just kind of has that. So the best way to describe it is like I know Dave will get the reference on Flash when you first meet Cisco, when you're doing the flashback of Cisco,
Yeah.
his first day on the job. Like, kind of
Okay.
that vibe, where he's really nice dressed, but he just has that, just for whatever reason, the goofy shirt underneath. So she's kind of laid back. She has some, on either wrist, she has some, like a little bit oversized bracelets that kind of dangle and jangle. But she has a smile that can break hearts. Like she is one of those people that is definitely the girl next door type, where she's not drop dead gorgeous. She is very just kind of cute, but like her smile is extremely charismatic, and people just eat it up. But she comes into the door as you're trying to, and that's when you see her and like, hey, that's the Andromeda lady, and you try to think about what her company does, and you can't, because you're just kind of just lost in the awe of that smile. Like, it's just this big, wide, just makes you feel happy. Like, she seems, really good person. So, hold on. Robert, what you know about her and the company is the Lockheed, like you remember that. So you do know that over the years she's been very successful. She has been featured multiple times on the cover of Wired, on Forbes for her tech work, and also for being one of the richest people in the country and in the world. She made their top 100 richest people list. Many other magazines. She also has 2 New York Times best-selling novels. Been on countless talk shows, and she has engulfed several smaller companies that she has found, but she has paid them handsomely, and a lot of times she pays them and then she hires them on. Like, you're going to sell your company. If you still want part of it, I will do it. And then it makes the former owner of that company into like the head of that division. So video games, electronics. They have gotten into space engines, nanite technology. So their 2 biggest competitors for them right now are Mars Tech and Keats Industries. And Keats Industries, she's more of she hasn't seemed very aggressive of it from what you know about her, and and that sort of thing. But Mars Tech, she has gone kind of hard on them a lot. She has openly criticized them, their business practices, and stuff like that on public forums. So her and Maximilian Mars do not get along at all. He sees her as just a young goofball that doesn't know what she's doing and just got lucky, and she sees him as an old prick who doesn't know how to let go of his money. And I chalk that up to you actually having a background in electrical engineering and stuff, so some of that stuff is more in your alley and more stuff that you would kind of read as opposed to Dave. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But she arrives and she's talking to many people. Shortly after her, Maximilian Mars arrives. You see a man that's in his probably mid-40s walk in. People are kind of waving hi to him. Like, you guys feel like you should know who he is, but it's one of those things that's like on the tip of your tongue. You guys can roll a perception check if you want. Robert, you're not 100% sure. Like, you feel like you should know him, but you don't remember why. Dave, you know the man that walked in is Liam Keats, or also known as Liam Keats Jr. His first name is Jargo. The reason that you remember him is because of the fact of who his father was. His father was Dr. Jargo Keats, also Dr. Techno. He was a member of the Freedom League for many years in Freedom City. After the first couple years of his heroics, he made his very much like Iron Man made it known who he was, that he was actually a hero. I am Liam Keats. You can call me Dr. Techno. He got sick about 10 years ago or so, and retired from being a superhero, and then sadly passed about 6 or 7 years ago. With that, by that time his son Junior here, who does not like using his first name, he likes going by Liam. He started his own company, Ultra Labs, which does research and development for technologies for medical purposes, trying to help the medical field and stuff like that. And he didn't want anything to do with his father's company, but then saw his father's company go in a direction that he didn't like after his father's untimely death. And the man that took over for it, he doesn't agree with him, so he basically picked up shop from Freedom City and moved to Emerald City about 6 years ago. So he's been here since. But like his father was just like world known, Dr. Techno. He saved the world. He was the master of nanite technology. And his sidekick, and the other reason you know him is his sidekick, Nanite, is actually a member, a high-ranking member of Vanguard. Because after all that, after Keats died, he lost purpose and tried to stay with the Freedom League for a while, and then decided to leave and join Vanguard after doing some solo heroics.
Okay.
You also see that General Lang has arrived with some other people. He arrives roughly the same time as Dex does. So him and Mr. Logan are sitting there talking. You see the mayor arrive with her assistant. You also see several members of the media, including a couple younger kids that you're guessing are some form of social media. Robert, you also have the guest list, which you have it digitized, so you can just pull it up on your phone instead of having a paper copy of it. Obviously, and like they're just they're streamers, they're social media analysts, stuff like that. You do see the police commissioner, the fire chief, the DA, the assistant DA. Various other people. Like it gets crowded pretty quickly because the general public is allowed, but the mayor comes over to you. So comes over to you. You guys get some, get some photos in with different media types. Like she's like rapid fire introducing you to all these people in the city, and it's honestly kind of overwhelming. Like you guys can roll an intelligence check or insight if you want to try to memorize like any of these people's names. If you're fine with not memorizing them right now, that's completely fine. But this is just for your characters would know, not necessarily you, because there's just a bunch. There's just so many goddamn people. Yeah, you're trying to, Dave, and like there are so many. Like it's literally like 30 seconds. Oh, this is so blah 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 blah. Picture. Okay, this is so blah blah blah, and just keep on going.
Hi, nice to meet you. This is so good to see you. Hey, hi, nice to see you. So nice to meet you. Hi, so nice to see you.
Exactly. Robert, you actually have a better chance. You actually remember a good chunk of them. Like there's a couple that you missed, but that's because their names are very similar. But so it's like I know their name, but I don't know if I have the right person. I know it's either this person or this person. These two names could interswap, I think. But you're a bit better at like organizing your thoughts, and then you're kind of. The mayor's like, okay, come on, and then kind of ushers you up to the stage. They're starting to pass out champagne. It's getting closer to 8. The deputy mayor, Clifford, gets up to there. It's like, the mayor will be making a speech momentarily. Can I have everybody's attention? May I introduce you to our one, our only, our mayor, Sarah Whitney. Sarah walks up to the podium, and you guys are up there, like with her on the side. General Lang is up there with her. So is Agent Logan, and a few other people you're not familiar with. One of them, is the chief of police, and the police commissioner. The chief of police is on the floor. It's just, the police commissioner, the DA, and the fire chief are up there. Along with her on the other side. So you guys are on one side, they're on the other. She's like, welcome one and all, and thank you so much for coming to this fundraiser that will help with the Emerald Way Children's Miracle Network Hospital. All donations will be made out to them. 100% of it goes to them. We are not seeing anything else. This is to raise money for them to help that hospital get a full renovation that they so desperately need. And I thank you all for coming. So I know the last 6 months have been very trying on the city, to the point that our previous mayor ended up resigning due to it. I know crime has been on the rise, both regular and villainous. There have been more thefts, more murders, and everything, and I understand that. And but that being said, I took the liberty of reaching out with our liaisons with Agus and with the PRA to see what we can do about that, because we need a new superhero team. And for the members of the Emerald Knights that are here, I want everybody to just acknowledge everything they've done for the last 30 years for this city, and thank them again so much for being that, and hope them a speedy recovery from having burnout. And everybody kind of turns. There's only like, that there's supposed to be like 7 members of the group. Only like 3 of them showed up, but everybody claps for them, and they seem like one of them seems real tipsy, and the other 2 are just kind of somber. But she's like, that being said, I thank you all so very much for that, and I would like to introduce you to our new superhero group. I am informed that not all members have arrived yet, but the 2 that are here, I'd like to introduce you to them. If you don't know who the Vanguard are, I'll explain it to you. So while you have the Emerald City Knights that patrol our streets for so many years, the Freedom League, and so many other organizations and groups that have specific cities that they handle, and other heroes that are solo or small groups that handle other areas or kind of travel. The Vanguard are worldwide. The Vanguard's one goal is to protect all of humanity, every person, every every paragon, every human, every man, every woman, every child, because they all deserve the right to live in happiness and harmony. And the Vanguard have never strayed away from helping those in need, has never strayed away from helping humans in need, helping other heroes in need, to stopping the villains, to stopping the criminals, to making a name for themselves, and making everybody stop and think, and give them give the villains a second take. They have to do a double take, and like, do we really want to do this? Because they will handle their stuff as they always do, and they have an amazing track record. So, on behalf of Emerald City, on behalf of our state, on behalf of our nation, I would like to thank Vanguard and introduce you to our members of Vanguard that are now our official team, with the exception of one not being here, Stretch, which I do believe he'll be arriving in a few days. But I'd like to introduce you to Wildcat and Thunderfist. And the crowd explodes with applause, and people are cheering. And then there's like in the very background of that panel when you guys are doing that, like up like one of the bigger like statues of like an astronaut, you just see goggles on it for some reason. There's the panel just shows goggles on it, and then it kind of blinks. It's Stretch wrapped around it, watching you guys. She's like,
wave to the crowd.
but they are going crazy. She's like, and to help us with this, we are to help us with it, we do have everybody's favorite hero of Emerald City. Let's give a big round of applause and open the mic up to Mascot. And you see this the dinosaur that you were watching YouTube videos before come walking out. He stands with the suit, stands about 7 feet tall or so, and just looks like a giant plushie. And just kind of like when he walks, the ground shakes ever so slightly. And he gets up to the mic. Oh, hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the charity event. I hope everybody's in for a good time. We're here to raise money for those kiddos. And then he starts singing children's songs. And the crowd just is laughing, and then people start going about their business. The mayor walks up to you guys and said, "Thank you so much for coming. This is definitely the reaction I was hoping for." And General Lang, is right there, and he offers his hands. He goes, "I have to say, Still don't like the fact that it's Vanguard here, but that reaction shows that you are definitely what we needed to boost morale, and I will try my utmost not to be too much of a prick.
No. You said he held out his hand or something?
Yeah, held out his hand to shake it. Offer his hand to shake it.
I'll shake his hand. He's a bit of a prick, but we're in the same business.
I'll also shake his hand.
So he thanks you. And now you guys have some time to schmooze.
Ooh, schmoozhy. So this is all for, like, children's hospital, right? So there's a bunch of kids here, too, right?
Yep.
I am specifically going to, like, entertain the kids, because in the past I've always found that, like, because I'm, like, a cat man, kids just like a furry cat man for some reason. Like, they kind of think of me kind of the same way as I think as the mascot guy there.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. So I'm gonna play with the kids, I guess. Which is also a good public image thing, too.
Yes, very much.
I'm probably just gonna wander, like, get into small chit-chats with various people as I come across them. But I'm also gonna kind of be watching, like, the windows, the entryway, just because I know the comic book trope of somebody's gonna interrupt the gala, and then we gotta get into a fight, and everybody gets to run out.
Yeah, that's definitely a comic book trope.
Well, that, and it's also your training, too. Like,
Yeah.
big gathering, you know, someone's going to have to make a statement, Dr. Horrible or whoever.
Oh, yeah. But, like, as you guys are, like, meandering around, like you see several people that, you know, you've been introduced, that you did the rush introduction to, like, oh, no. So you do see, Max Mars and Miss Lockhart in somewhat of a heated discussion that are just kind of there. Like, it's heated out mainly, it seems one-sided, because she just has that, like, you know, that $1 million smile that she's just smiling the whole time and stuff. And he looks like every time she opens her mouth, he just keeps on getting more and more pissed and frustrated. Like, the veins are starting to bulge on his neck and his forehead, and she seems calm, cool, and collective. Like, and if you like kind of walk up, like the general gist of the conversation is her just talking about business practice and talking about how I will end up ending you. I will own Mars Corp, within the next few years. And he's like, over my dead body. She's like, that can be arranged. And like kind of those veiled threats and not so veiled threats and stuff like that. Some of the social media people are like, so they're collecting collecting snapshots, getting selfies with everybody. You do notice several people have been recording you guys the entire time because they're kind of doing that. You do see some of the other heroes just kind of doing their thing, and just kind of just schmoozing with people trying to raise money. There's a big digital tracker like up by the stage that shows how much they've raised so far, which right now it's at like $45,000 they've raised so far from just all these people just throwing in money here and there to it. So there is that. So as you guys are walking around, go ahead and roll perception checks.
All right.
Okay. So Robert, you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary. Dave, as you're kind of walking around, you do notice some odd things. Mainly like some of the it strikes at first you don't think anything of it, but then when you start noticing it more and more, there's little stands and that have little stands for the drinks and stuff that you can set your drink on when you're talking to people and stuff like that. They have built-in phone chargers and a little trash can underneath it. And you notice that there's just when you first got here, you would walk past a bunch of them when they were setting them up, and they just they're pretty much silver and gunmetal gray are pretty much the main colors. But you notice that there's bluish like bluish circuitry on them now, like like just a weird circuit pattern on a couple of them.
Okay, that's not regular.
So okay, you can get a closer look if you want and investigate them.
I will, yes. Yeah, so just make an investigation roll.
Yep. Okay, upon investigating, like you're looking at it, and you kind of like you get near, like you're like to touch it, and as you get closer, is when you see it. It looks like it's moving. It kind of like ripples, almost like water at first, is what your first inkling is, until you realize what's actually happening. As as the panel kind of pulls out to a drastic like 30-degree angle like up, and it just turns into just this amalgamation and starts transforming, and you see what you have only seen in file footage up to this point, a gigabot.
A gigabot.
A gigabot is one of the henchmen constructs of Terabyte. The problem with gigabots is they are nanites. All it takes is one nanite to infect an organic or inorganic object, and it can take it over and create a replicant of itself. And that's when you hear glasses fall, high-end shrieks, and you turn and you see about a dozen gigabots standing up.
Uh-oh.
Roll initiative. And this one we're going to do old school without a map.
Oh, no. Okay, stupid question. Which thing is my initiative? Where'd it go? I can't find my initiative.
In combat.
Toughness, fortitude, will.
It's like
Oh, my
right
God.
below toughness.
Right fucking there. Jesus.
Okay, so Robert goes first. So since it is comic book rules and this is a new panel, you guys are fully healed up. So any conditions you had or any bruises you had are set back to 0.
Okay. So as a free action, I'm gonna turn on my energy aura,
Okay.
and how far away is the closest one to me?
So the closest one to you, we will say only about 5 feet or so.
All right. So I guess I'm gonna try and blast it.
Okay.
What do I roll for that? It's a d20 plus the damage rank, right?
Yeah.
Or-
So yeah, because you're using your blast power, so it's going to be D20 plus plus whatever your rank in blast is.
Yep. All right. And it's against their dodge.
Yes. So their dodge. So you rolled that. Yeah. So their dodge. No, they definitely got hit. Okay.
And
So
then they make a.
yeah, then they make a toughness save versus your blast. So your damage. So let's see, increase range, damage 5. So it's 10 plus 15. So 25. What the fuck was that? That wasn't even a roll.
Oh, you tell me.
So
Damn.
27. So you shoot out with your blast, expecting it to do some damage, and they just harmlessly absorb it, but you do notice that when it hits, it kind of blue pattern kind of spreads out, like over, like ripples through them because they now have a solid form, but it kind of ripples through them. So there is that. Give me 1 second. So to put it in perspective, so mind you, this is they look similar to this, except for they are anything that's red on this picture is going to be blue on them, because that is Terabyte, and the Gigabots look basically like this, except for everywhere that's red is just like a bright blue on them. And then the very center light has a big G in it. Okay. Dave, it's your turn.
Okay. Well, there was one right in front of me. You said, right?
Yes, like literally, like within, like they are in the square right next to you.
All right. Just target any of the bots or whatever.
Okay, so it'll be the one that's near you is Gigabot 3.
Gigabot 3. How do I target not having something on the map?
You have to go to Combat Tracker. I just did it for you.
Okay. Okay. Well, if it's right in front of me, I'm gonna slash at it, and then I'll hop back because I probably don't want to get caught in melee, because you said that they can take people over.
So they can replicate themselves. They can infect somebody and try to take them over. Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't want to get infected. So yeah, I will plot them. And okay, so how's this work again? I roll my fighting.
Yes. If you have the fighting skill, you can roll your fighting.
Right? Or am I rolling the wrong thing?
So fighting check, which is versus their dodge, which that would hit.
Okay.
So then they get a save against your strike. So your strike is level 4.
Yeah. Well, it's 4 ranks. It's strike 2 at this rank, like, because it's 4 power.
Oh,
points
okay.
for
So it's
every-
just strike 2.
Yeah, it's two power points for every rank, so it's rank 2, but it is strength based, so my strength gets added to it.
Yes. So then it would be your DC would be your strength plus 15.
Yes.
So what is your...
Strength plus rank plus 15, right?
Yes. So that'd be what, 19 or 9 plus 15?
Yes. So that would be 24.
Yes. Okay. So you hit him and you feel it's one of those things where you hit him and like it's like hitting water almost, where the nanites like splash away from his chest where you hit him, and you see some of them just like turn like a sickly black color and just fall to the ground. The rest of them go back into him, and he's just like.
All right, and after I hit him, I'm going to use my leaping to leap back.
Okay.
So he's going to have to come at me again.
Yes, because that'll be your move action.
Yep.
Okay, and that ends your turn.
I am going to yell out after I land though real quick. I'm going to yell out for the... Because there's regular police and Aegis here, or...
Yes.
Well, I'm going to yell for them to get the civilians out.
Yes, and then there's also a couple heroes here too. Robert, the one that you just blasted, uh, points his arm at you, and it kind of transmogrifies very quickly into what looks like a blaster of some sort.
Oh shit.
It turns into a blaster, and then you see it starts growing a bright white, bluish, and then his arm and him just blow up into basically dust. You just see the nanites turn black and just turn into a big pile and fly everywhere.
I'm just gonna kind of stare at it for a little bit, just like, what the fuck just happened?
That's the same one you blasted, right?
Yeah, that's the one that he
Yes.
blasted.
I
You
overcharged
must've-
it too much.
You overcharged it. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, sure.
Delayed reaction.
So, Dave, the one that you were attacking does the same, pretty much the same thing. His arm turns into, transmogrifies into a blaster, and he goes to attack you.
No, I have a feeling he'll hit me.
So, he completely misses wide, goes around it, but now, high or low?
Low.
Ends up hitting a civilian with the blast.
No!
So I'm going to roll to see which civilian, if it's a civilian of note or not. So the civilian that he hits right like in the shoulder is Miss Lockhart, and she just goes like flying back. Like you see it singe through her suit jacket, and it's so much, the blast had so much force she goes like somersaulting around and then crashes through a glass display.
Oh my. That's intense.
And then it just kind of, and you see more of the nanites start turning black, and the ones that aren't seem to be glowing bright, like it's going to explode soon. Okay. All the other ones are attacking random Aegis guards or some of the other heroes that are trying to help out. So you do see that two of the former Emerald City Knights are like just fucking trying to piss pound them. And then one of them actually is another hero you're not familiar with. Is beating on one, and he like it goes to hit him, it misses. He goes to hit it, he hits it, and then it just blows up. Like it doesn't seem like it does any actual damage. It just blows up, and then there's just like the black particles all over again. But it is back to Thunderfist's turn.
Okay. How close am I to Miss Lockhart?
Okay, so for where
Oh,
you were, you're probably about 20 feet away from where she landed.
Okay. And how close is the next closest gigabot?
Next closest gigabot is about 15 feet away.
Alright. So I don't know how far I can move.
It's still base movement. Unless you have movement power, your base movement is 30 feet.
Okay. So I'm gonna, for my move, go over and check on her.
Okay. Okay, so you spend your movement getting over there. So for that, you can use a treatment check to see how she's doing. And to apply minor first aids. 24. So overall, it does look like she does have a large scorch mark on it. There is some damage. There is no blood, fortunately, because whatever it was, since the blaster cauterized, the wound instantly. But you do have could quickly use part of her coat, like kind of rip her coat, and there's some a bottle of water like laying on the floor next to you. You clean it off real quick and kind of wrap it up and tie it up so that way it doesn't get infected and stuff. She is semi-conscious, but other than Other than that, luckily the panel she went through, even though it was glass broke everywhere, didn't seem to hurt her. You don't see her bleeding anywhere, just the burn mark on her.
Okay.
And that'll eat up your move and your standard action, unless you have more actions, which technically you can use a hero point if you want to give yourself another action, or you can use or you can overexert yourself to give yourself another action too, but then you take a penalty.
Well, you can always extra effort, but the hero point is to negate the negatives of extra effort, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, or you can use.
Well, the only other action I can take is just shutting off my aura, but I don't want to do that right now, so I think that'll be my turn.
Okay.
Okay. These things are going down real quick, right?
Yes.
I smell distraction.
Okay, you can roll a insight or a perception check.
I mean, perception's my stronger roll, but I feel like it's more of an insight. Shit. I'm gonna do perception though. Maybe I smell something being off or something. I don't know.
So from what you do know, so with perception, so what you do see is that's now 3 or 4 of them that have pretty much self-destructed as soon as damage was immediately done to them, or shortly after damage was done to them. That is definitely a distraction. So you remember the room that you went into that had the alien vessel?
Yes.
That room, you can see that from here, and like just barely like over, like when you look, kind of like look up, like you like stand up a little bit on like on the tip of your toes, so kind of look over the crowd that's trying to get out and all that's going on, and you see Terabyte and probably about 30 of her goons over there at that device. Looks like they're tearing parts of it out.
Of course. You said it's how far away?
So that's probably about 90 feet away.
90 feet, I believe. Check. And this room has high ceilings?
Yes.
So my leap wouldn't get me quite there fast enough. Does my speed? For speed. Doesn't give me the measurement actually in it. What's the? How far would I be able to move with speed 4?
Speed
90 feet, right?
Speed 4, yeah, you should be able to easily. Hold on.
I couldn't find the chart thing for ranks and how they affect things.
Hold on.
But it's supposed to, like, each one is supposed to double on itself, right?
So measurement speed 4. At speed 4, it's 500 feet.
Oh, damn. And that's, like, in a round?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. Alright, well, I am going to use my speed, leaping, and wall crawling in conjunction. So I'm going to leap onto the... I'm going to do, like, that kitty cat thing. I'm going to, like, leap onto the wall. I'm going to, like, use my wall climbing, or wall crawling to, like, basically run along the wall, essentially.
Yeah.
And whatever other things.
Okay.
And I'm going to run at the bad guys there that are stealing alien parts off the ship. Would I be able to Now, he has other Gigabots with him, or he has like human goons.
No, there looks to be about 30 other gigabots. But as you get closer, you realize they're not full size. They're about half the size of the ones that that you were just fighting.
Okay, so he's got like the big ones out there as distraction, and these ones are more, they're like grabbing stuff for him probably. Can I reach him or no?
Uh, yeah, you could easily reach.
All right, so as I'm running in that direction, then I am going to basically, as my move, like come up to him and like basically do essentially a flying kick, essentially
Okay.
at him. Which still would use my claws because I have clawed feet.
Nice.
So roll my fight on him. I don't see a target thing for him.
Don't worry about the target. Just roll it.
And I forgot, my claws do have accurate, so I actually get like +2 to that roll as well, since I'm attacking with my claws.
Okay.
So if that hits, that's another, that's the 29.
Okay. As you go to kick, you should feel yourself getting closer, and then Terabyte kind of goes a little translucent, and you just pass right through them.
Oh!
And then after you pass through them, like right as the last part of you goes through, you can feel like them solidify. Nice try.
Oh, he phased. What a bastard.
You have no idea who you're dealing with, hero. Gigabots, disperse! And then they just form a big cloud that kind of engulfs everything. And then you see terabytes molecules get mixed in with that, and then it just kind of goes up like a big tornado and punctures a hole through the glass. Glass shatters down, wrecking most of the ceiling, and they just kind of fly out. Robert, while this is happening, you're sitting there, you're like duking it out with some of these things, and all of a sudden they just kind of all just you hear it sounds like somebody taking a whole whole roll of bubble wrap and popping it at once, and you see little sparks, and all the little drones like crash down into that black soot stuff, and then after about 3 or 4 seconds, it just instead of black soot, it's now looks like melted metal. Like it looks like somebody melted metal, so it looks like the trash cans and stuff, but like they reformed in like a melted type state.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were used as like raw material for the
Phase bots,
terabytes.
paycheck bots. You see them and they phase out of existence when you reach it, when you reach for it. So not gigabots, more like kilobots. They're gigabots. Trust me, they can do a lot of things. But anyway. But during that time frame, like right now, there are still a few people like inside. Aegis did a really good job. So did the police, getting most people outside. Now, like they're still keeping people outside. They have ambulances are on their way. Things like that. So now you guys actually have time to kind of like scope out the crime scene and stuff like that.
The donations how were those being done? Was there like some big donation bowl or something? Like,
All of that was being done digitally.
Okay. Well, shit.
There was the big counter that was over by the stage.
Well, he is a tech villain, so let's check that. See if he stole any cash or whatever first.
So the last time you looked at it, it was roughly it was reaching like the $300,000 mark, and now it says there is $0 in the account.
Motherfuck.
Awesome.
So you know that he just stole money from kids, and then stole some alien tech, at the least.
Who steals money? Who steals money from kids? Really, that's just a dick move right there.
The bad guys.
I know. What a dick. Well, we can always try tracing that later, because if it was digitally, then there might be like a digital trail to like follow.
Correct.
But that's something we'll have to do later or whatever. I'm gonna see if we can figure out what alien tech he stole. If we can figure out if there's something specific that he stole off of that. Or
Okay.
just like random bits or whatever.
Okay, so for that you will need either a technology or a science roll. So there's that.
Which role are you doing?
I did technology.
All right, I'm going to use my teamwork, I think.
Okay.
You support a team check. You have a +5 circumstance bonus to your check. Team check. I don't know if that's specific for skills or not.
Yeah, no, you can do that for skills.
Okay, so I just roll the skill and I get a +5 to it then, or?
Because you're rolling to see to help him out, right?
Yes, like he's scoping it out and I'm helping him scope it out instead of making my own check.
Yeah.
So
So
that makes sense.
yeah. So with you, what you want to do is you get the bonus to it. So for every for every success over, because it's a base DC of 10 to help somebody else. For every success over level of success, he gets a bonus for it.
Okay, so I get a +5 from my teamwork. I roll my technology, and for every 5 above 10, he gets a bonus.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I helped some.
Okay, yeah. So he gets a +2 bonus, so he actually gets so he's at a 28. So with that, you guys, between the two of you, you are able to determine. So with your background in electrical engineering, Robert, so you know, even though this is alien tech, you understand the basic principles of that sort of thing. And Dave, actually having seen alien tech, being half alien himself, adds some insight. So between the two of you, you're able to figure out. So it looks like they got away with two things, which one is a guidance system. So basically, their GPS.
Okay.
And their one of the two power cores.
Huh. Would have figured they'd have taken like the power cores out when they put the thing on display.
Both the power cords are dead.
Oh.
They're not functioning. Like, there's no power going to the unit at all. They stole one of the dead power cores, and that looks like they're trying to get a few other pieces, like the navigation system and stuff like that. Like the full navigation system, not just like the GPS part of it. Because the part they sold is basically their mapping, like part of their mapping system and stuff like that.
So a dead power core and what would basically be like an intergalactic GPS.
Correct.
Right.
And about $300,000 in
And-
charity donations.
I almost have to believe that a guy like Terabyte, like the gear was the main target and the cash was just a nice bonus. And just from that brief interaction, I also have to kind of determine that he also stole it when we were here as a statement of, I'm not afraid of you.
That's a very good assumption.
That's my guess.
So after, like, you're figuring stuff out, and Dex comes over to see what you guys figure out.
Yeah, we'll let him know. Full power core, intergalactic GPS.
Okay. He said again,
With all the donations.
well, the donations wasn't Terabyte.
What?
The signature on it. We tried tracing it because we have some of the Aegis guys here. The trace that led back to a VPN, but the VPN is a very specific one being used. Like we can't trace its home signal, but it's another criminal that just took advantage. Which I would have to either guess that either they were here planning on doing that to begin with, or maybe Terabyte's actually recruiting people to join them. Which, if that's the case, that is something that's very scary.
Huh.
Because Terabyte has never had need for money at all. Like they want tech.
Then coincidence?
That's what I'm guessing. Like I'm hoping it's just coincidence, and I'm hoping, like I said, that they're not working with Terabyte, because that would be bad. But the mayor wants to see you. You come over, and the police commissioner's there. So his name is Ronald Carter. And he shakes your hand and thanks you for ending that as quickly as possible.
Too bad we didn't catch him.
There'll be other times, but you saved a lot of lives. Looks like very minor injuries, and then you see like the medics working on Miss Lockhart, and she goes, "Thank you." She looks at you, Thunderfist, and goes, "Thank you so much. It'll be good to have heroes back in the city again. You have my endorsement." And you see like Max Mars like not that far away, getting kept for some minor cuts and stuff, and just goes, "Of course you say that, you fucking suck up." And the mayor comes over and says, "On behalf of the city and everybody at this gala, yes, we know a lot of charity funds were taken. Some tech was taken. Some people got injured. There was some property destruction, but nobody died. Everybody's safe, and we want to thank you so that way they know, the criminals, the villains know that somebody will here to stop them. I want to thank you so much." And she shakes both of your hands. And then the panel ends with, as you guys are leaving and stuff, like the media frenzy of you guys coming out and them taking pictures of it, and stuff like that as you're getting back into your car, and then just kind of speed off. So you did notice that when you get the first time when you're driving around, the car does have a panel with other switches, including super speed on it, and you take the liberty to get away from there in style by clicking the super speed button and going from 0 to about 600 miles an hour in about 2 seconds flat. Like to the point, it's very much Back to the Future, burnt rubber, and you just see the tracks.
In a Rolls.
Yeah, in an old, like in a 1960s Rolls at that. And then you guys are back at the estate, back at HQ. You guys get there when you walk in, like you come in through the so the garage is an underground garage. So you go into the underground garage, you park, you walk up the stairs, and you walk up into the hall, and you have to pass the kitchen and stuff like that, and then the dining room. And for coming from the dining room, you just smell delicious food. It smells like a roast and fresh potatoes. You think you smell some shrimp. Like it's a big buffet. And you look in there and you see Linda and the doctor just sitting there eating. There's table settings for you guys. And Dr. Aton looks at you. "Saw you guys on the news." Not too bad. What did they steal?
Cash. Broken power core. Or drained power core. And intergalactic GPS.
Terabyte likes tech. Especially alien tech, because I'm pretty sure they're a goddamn alien. I'm wondering if that tech is from their home planet and they need it for something. Because otherwise, why would you take tech if you couldn't figure out or if you didn't know how to use it? So that tells me they knew exactly what it is. Why they waited for that to do it, that was more of a statement, because they could easily wait till after closing and came and got it. They were trying to tell you something.
That they're not impressed with us.
We can change that attitude pretty quick. And then as you guys are sitting there, like you notice that there's a third place setting that was supposed to be meant for Stretch, and then you just hear, "God, I'm hungry," and you just see the chair, like a head, like fold from behind the chair and just pops up, and like unwraps from around the chair, like it was like wrapped in like wrapping paper, and just starts eating, and it's Stretch.
I'm just gonna kind of stare at him for a couple minutes and then go back to eating.
Aton just looks over. I'm going to say this once. Don't do that. And he goes, okay. And Linda just laughs. Why, you don't want him wrapped around your wood? And Aton's like, bitch! Shut up! And then that panel ends with you guys just quietly finishing your dinner for the most part, just a little bit of friendly banter here and there. And for the first time since you've been in the city, you actually feel kind of at peace and at home. Even with everything that happened tonight, you actually kind of feel like a team, even though Stretch is just a fucking weirdo, which you guys are kind of used to that. Dr. Aton's kind of a dick. Linda is kind of a dick to him and keeps him in his place. Overall, the people of the city seem very friendly and very much in need of good, genuine heroes. And you can see why Vanguard sent you here, and knowing you're doing what Vanguard is meant to do, which is to help those people out that need it. And that, folks, ends Session 1, Issue 1. New City, Who Dis? What'd you guys think?
Yay!
I thought it was fun.
Yeah. Combat I didn't want to get too intense with. Starting off, I just want to get you guys so that way you like kind of understand the basis and stuff like that. But what do you think of the setting? What do you think of the NPCs? What do you like and what don't you like? How about that?
I don't know. I like the city. I like the map. I guess. I like the specifically saying the panel cutaways. That was nice. I was actually imagining like an actual like panel cutaway.
Yeah. So part of that comes from. So I've been watching through a lot of, I watch a lot of YouTube anyway, but there's several groups that I've kind of grown liking to watching them playing M&M and just like watching them, so there's one that does it more than the other. Like the first guys that I watched, they did it was like a 3-part miniseries, which was really kind of cool. And they did similar things, but they're like, okay, this is more. They treated it more like not as much as a comic as they did more of like they had comic references obviously, but they treated it more like a cartoon. It's like, okay, and then there's a flashback sequence where this happens, so it's like I pictured it more as, okay, you're watching a superhero, a superhero show, like you're watching like the original X-Men show, where they have a flashback to something else. It's still comic book-esque, but it's in motion of how they describe it. And then the one that I've been watching lately, which I'm like on episode 4 right now, they do a lot of those. Oh, hey, now we're going to swipe to this. We're going to go to this. You have this panel here. This is going on. The fact that Stretch has been following you the entire time, but not doing anything to help you.
Yeah, he's gonna get an earful
Yeah.
when Jetty's actually running him.
Yeah, he was at the museum, and then he got home somehow before you guys did, or maybe at the same time you did. You just didn't notice him.
Listen, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't know he was there, so he wasn't there.
Well, that's
And
the
then what he
thing.
tells us.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is neither one of
That's
you
also-
like knew that he was there at
That's
all.
true.
Like you guys don't know at all that he was there, and he's just like it's just like, oh, you arrived early. Like when did you get here? Like you're in a chair. Okay, whatever. But you guys are kind of a dysfunctional family at at the Tantry house. Which next time we'll have some time right now because like it's ended, but we can do like this could be like the bonus panels. At the end where you're like kind of exploring the house, that kind of like flashbacks to your first couple days here and like seeing what the house has. Like there is Aton's actual laboratory, which is his tech lab that has lots of workbenches and stuff like that. So anybody that he wants to use tech stuff can build there. There is a fully stocked infirmary, which the infirmary you guys have visited. So the infirmary has a robodoc that Aton built. So use that at your own risk.
Oh God.
There is a robodoc there who does have a disposition. So, yeah. Because he's one of those robots that, like, he has no legs. Like, he's built into the ceiling on, like, this track that he follows. So he just has a torso and arms. And he bitches that he has no legs. So,
Why
like...
was I programmed to care about my legs?
Yeah, well, like he'll look at people like, "You don't need those legs, do you?" Like, I could give you, I could give you something better if I could have those ones. No, no. Like, what are you talking about? Are you trying to cut off my legs for yourself? Shh, shh. Don't tell the doc. There is, there is the kitchen. There is the lab. There's the lounge. There is a Olympic-sized swimming pool that's indoors. There is a very impressive gym, and of course, there is the Demcore. Which the Demcore, he gave you the brief rundown on how to use it, how to program it. So yeah, it's very user friendly. Like that's one of his better inventions. So you can program it to pretty much do anything you want. You can go against anybody that you guys have a file on, or anybody from any literature, video game, or anything like that. Like you can fight video game characters in there if you want. The way it's designed at any location they want. So.
Cool.
And then besides his Rolls Royce, he does have some newer cars in there. Most of his cars are older antique cars, for the most part, that are in great condition. He does have some future tech, though. Well, not future tech, but it's amazing tech, including some motorcycles that go really fast. And he does have a private jet that he is willing to let you use if you ever so need it.
Ah.
It's only like a 4 or 5 man jet, so it's really tiny. Well, remember, he said, and he's told you guys can stay there as long as you want. This is a safe haven. If you ever want to upgrade your stuff and get your own place, he will help you get outfitted as he can. But that being said, I'm going to give each of you 5 PowerPoints for tonight's adventure. So PowerPoints can be used to up your skills and stuff of that nature. Up your skills and attributes up to, I mean, you still have to abide by the limit of the power level that you're on. But definitely, so I had a lot of fun. Robert, what did you like?
I say I like the combat. Like it was a little confusing at first, but it was quick for me to pick up on.
Yeah, like I think the combat definitely streamlines it and makes it a bit easier for stuff. So then a lot of it just comes down to interpretation because it comes down to very simple, just oppose checks. Like what opposes what is what it comes down to. So like oppose checks when you're doing like skills, like it just depends. Like if somebody's like trying to sneak up on you, it's stealth versus perception. And most other things are just defenses where it's just like, okay, toughness versus damage. So your damage rank of whatever your skill is, so your blast, it's whatever your ranks are in it, plus 15 is what they have to roll their toughness against. You know, and then depending on, like, and the thing about it is the one thing you never want to do, and I will warn you, is if you get 4 degrees of failure, you are unconscious. So you are out until somebody heals you. Unless you have, you know, like regeneration that lets you remove conditions and stuff like that, which still take a little bit depending on what it is. And then anytime you do anytime you have to do a defense save, so that includes dodge, fortitude, toughness, or will, it's whatever your score is plus 10. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And then everything else is like for penalties and stuff like that. The base penalties are either -2 or -5. You know, and that's how it is. So it's just like, okay, so it makes things pretty good. So. And then for hero points, so that way you guys know.
Pancakes. Take some bacon and I'll put it in a pancake. Bacon pancakes. That's
Really?
what it's gonna make.
Son of a
Bacon
bitch.
pancakes.
Well, someone had to do it. Juddy's not here.
Yeah, so hero points, again, you can use to edit the scene. Heroic feat, so you can gain a rank and an advantage you don't already have. You can improve your roll, reroll, and take the better result. If the result is the same as the previous roll, you get to add 10 to it. You can do inspiration, so if you need a hint, a clue, or information, you can use it for that. You can do it to instant counter somebody's power, or you can use it to immediately recover without taking action any of the base conditions. You can't do the advanced conditions. You can either take a -1 away or get rid of a base condition, not the other ones, unless you use multiple hero points. And like I said, if you don't, you can use a hero point every round. At the beginning of each session, if you do not have a hero point, you will gain one back. But hero points do not carry over. So if you gain additional hero points, like through gameplay or through somebody gifting them to you, at the end they convert into a power point instead, if that makes sense. Also, you can another thing you guys can do is when it comes to checks and stuff outside of combat, or if you have a skill that lets you, which is skill, you have to have skill mastery in it, is the M&M version of taking 10, which is called a routine check, where it's just 10 plus your ability rank. So you don't have to roll. It's just like, oh yeah, I do this. Yeah, but Dave, now you know how far you can leap.
Pretty far.
500 feet is nothing to fucking sneeze about, man.
Oh no.
That's pretty damn good.
Well, that's how far I can speed, not how far I can.
Oh yeah. Sorry, speed. But I had super fun tonight, guys. I can't wait till next episode. So there will be a time jump as we had previously discussed. So it will not be the next day. I might have a couple beginning panels that are like, oh, the very next morning they woke up, to this or that. But then you have time to do other stuff, and then just kind of like a montage of, well, they spent the last 3 days just going on, doing the rounds, getting to know the city. They stopped 4 muggers, 2 murderers, and a rapist. Something like that. You know what I mean? But I definitely have fun. I am definitely going to enjoy M&M and being able to run this for you guys, play this with you guys, and have fun. And so I'm liking the NPCs overall. Dr. Aton is just hilarious in my opinion because he's just so weird. Mm-hmm. Oh, so before I forget, so the whole time you guys are fighting those guys and stuff, Mascot is trying to do 2 things at once, which is get people out of there and try to tell the Gigabots that they were bad. So just you shouldn't be firing at people. That's not a nice thing to do. You don't hit people.
I think right now Mascot is my favorite NPC. We've seen like one panel of him, and he's already my favorite.
Yeah, like he got shot like 13 times, but didn't do anything back because he just doesn't. Like he's just standing in front of them, and they're just like unloading on him, and he's like, "Why are you doing that? We need to have a talk about aggressive tendencies. Let me sing you a song."
If we get into another combat situation with him around, I'm gonna totally tell him maybe they need a hug.
Let's hug this out, folks. And he doesn't get mad. Like they're blowing him away, and there's stuffing going, like flying and ambient in the air, but then it just keeps on flying back to him because he's magic. What are you doing that for? You better watch it. You're going to hurt yourself. Does your parents know you have that weapon?
That wasn't very nice.
Like, all I can think of is, like the voice in my head is a mix between, like, just Barney and Mr. Mackey from South Park. Like, that's just... Yeah, like that's what's in my head. Like, it's Mr. Mackey's, like weirdness, like, just that awkward, like, hey, guys. But then also, like, Barney's just, like, simplicity of, like, I am always nice no matter what. You're not going to piss me off. Somebody calls him an asshole. Oh, that's a potty mouth. We should wash your mouth out with soup. That's what my parents would do. Oh, I did tell Juddy about Mascot earlier when I was on lunch, right? And I was telling him how you helped with the backstory. And he goes, wait, so a demon summoned him? Yes. He was summoned by a demon. And then he came up with the rest of the backstory, like, also was the demon was originally summoned by the DM. So the DM summoned the demon, then this demon summoned, or created this, because he's like, it's a dinosaur, yes. This is not what I wanted. And it's like, so, Jenny's like, so there's just this guy walking around, this suit walking around just being nice to everybody. He's like, he hasn't stopped a goddamn crime ever, but he's just super nice and everybody loves him. Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say he's probably never stopped a crime. I mean, he's probably like stopped like a kid like doing graffiti tags somewhere. Like, you shouldn't do that. You should be a good boy.
Why are you in school learning?
One of those things where he only stopped the crime because he pestered someone enough where they're like, fuck, I'm fucking leaving.
You are the most annoying motherfucker in the world. Oh, well, thank you. But you shouldn't cuss. He's probably stopped a jaywalker or two. Yeah. I told Juddy, I said he definitely has the ability to swallow whole because he's just an empty suit. You shouldn't hit people, and I'm going to stop you. Like that's his only offensive power is bear hug and swallow whole. Because nothing bad happens. It's just like, if you start touching it, like, inside of him, trying to get out, oh, that's my no-no spot. I did not consent to this.
God.
Don't play with that zipper. Bad things happen.
Well, on that note.
But I want to thank everybody so much for stopping in. I'm going to mute indefinite so that way I can end my stream. Okay, guys?
Okay.
Super fun.
Okay.
Okay, folks. Thank you so much. Excuse me, sir. This is only an exit port. Excuse me, sir. That's an exit only port. What are you doing? My name's Mascot, and I'm here to be your friend. That literally, that whole concept came from me and Juddy just having like a random conversation at work that I thought would be fucking funny. Motherfucker.
Bacon pancakes, that's what it's gonna make.
You know, it's not going to bother me today. You know why? Because I don't have to work tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be cleaning up this area. I have to move stuff. So this monitor is going to get moved over here. This desk is getting moved over there. That's going over there. Lots of fucking shit happening. Okay. Plus I have to go to the post office so I can mail out. Something to Evan, which is stuff that I owe him, including a controller, aka paddle, a magic card, and stickers. That is being mailed out tomorrow. And also, if you were not here the last time when I had my short little stream yesterday, so I did unlock the Freaky Friday from my side. So we are doing Freaky Friday. Me and Ness still have to talk about it. Thanks, Will. You are very welcome. Again, I apologize. And that being said, actually got me thinking, because I know Ness is like, oh, I'm going to do a merch store when I get to 1,000 followers. I'm like, nah, you know something? It'll be easier for me because I am fucking horrible about mailing stuff to people, even in my personal life. It's like, hey, can you mail this out? Hey, can you mail this out? Fucking forget about it. Like, I had papers from my lawyer for when I had to deal with my mom's estate and stuff. that I forgot to mail out for like 3 weeks. I'm like, oh shit, I probably should mail this out. And I think eventually I didn't even mail it out. I think I actually just drove 30 miles and hand delivered it. So that way I wouldn't fucking forget. So then I knew for a fact it was there. But that being said, when I hit, so next milestone, 750. 750, I will be giving away a Tiny Hands Foundation hoodie. That'll be a one-of-a-kind hoodie for you. Because I'm going to make sure that one is unique. Compared to future hoodies. Just like the 2 prototype hoodies that I have, or the 3 prototype hoodies I have now done for the life size. Which, speaking of which, I need to get with Dave. Dave, you need to tell me what design you want on the hoodie so I can get you your hoodie. I've got an anchor I need to get over to Nessa if I ever get off my ass to mail it to her. Oh, I get that. But that being said, $1,000. If I get to $1,000 this year, or sorry, when I get to a fucking $1,000 this year, I'm opening up a merch store. So that means there will be a whole line of Tiny Hand Foundation merchandise of my other artwork as well, including stuff from Vanguard and maybe some stuff from Toot and Nerva, if you know what I mean. So that is, that is that. So let's see. We're gonna raid out. Who do we want to raid out to? Who is all on? Like I know Ness is on, but who else is on? Cinnabunny, Newfie, Captain Jim. Tiny Hands. You know something? I'm gonna raid out to Panic Ness. Why? Because I need to start annoying her now. You know why, guys? Freaky Friday. We have to figure out when we're doing Freaky Friday. And we got to be annoying as ever living fuck to this woman. Because she's gonna see what it's like to have to deal with her. Okay? I already know what it's like to deal with me. She thinks she's gonna do something I've never seen before in my life. Guess what? Firstly, I'm annoying as hell. I know it. People talk shit to me my whole life. My head's big. My hands are too small. My shoulders are too wide. My legs are too long. My feet are too big. My entire life. I have dealt with it. And then number 2, my kid is fucking me. So I have to deal with me on a daily fucking basis. Getting into an argument with yourself, the only reason I win the arguments, I have more experience. But it is fucking literally my personality in that kid. Fuck that. So we're going to go annoy Ness. Because we love Ness. And the other day I said I love you. And I didn't mean it. But I do. I love Ness as a person, as a friend, as my non-sibling sibling. Your dad is, your DC is, or AC is just higher. Exactly. But I will see you guys later. I'm going to shoot for Sunday for my next stream. Because it's my next day off, maybe Saturday. But Monday we should be back to Minecraft Monday, as long as everything is going well. But I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for supporting the channel. Go over to Ness, give her hell, tell her I sent you. Tell her she's a goblin, and she's funny looking, and I hate her glasses. I said raid now.